Puff, puff, pass. True crime chat rats. Let's go! Puff, puff, pass, true crime chat rats. All across the world we coming through like that. Taking all the facts, put them in a trap. Cause we coming through like that. When you see the scene, I'm a rat. I be rolling with my rat pack. With my rats chatting about the crimes, the players and the evidence. Where it all went bad. Taking all the facts, and we bring them to the chat rats. True crime social where we be every night, doing everything we do for the truth. With my rats chatting about the crimes, the players and the evidence. Like it all went bad. Taking all the facts, and we bring them to the chat rats. All my people on the internet, all my people from around the world, gonna take you to the place we know best. Cause we're coming through like that. Puff, puff, pass, true crime chat rats. All across the world we coming through like that. Taking all the facts, put them in a trap. Cause we coming through like that. When you see the scene, I'm a rat. I be rolling with my rap pack. With my rats chatting about the crimes, the players and the evidence. Where it all went bad. Taking all the facts, and we bring them to the chat rats. Puff, puff, pass, true crime chat rats. All across the world we coming through like that. Taking all the facts, put them in the trap. Cause we coming through like that.
What's up, y'all? We'll just sit here a minute and simmer in that Karen Reeve victory. Where the fuck is Jeff Williams at now? Where is Jeff Williams? We need to talk to him. We need to get his perspective. We need to see if Plevin's doing a extra little bit. What's gonna happen to old Plevy Plev? He's on the wrong side of this one. Well, what's up, Prince Lover, Gingy, Sweet Woman, Angel, Patty P, and my wife? I had to go live for a little while. I know there's a bunch of shit going on, but we got to watch some of this and get it on our channel, on ours. But that was wild. I was riding in the car and listening to it over the radio. It was fucking insane. Insane. It was awesome. But let me find this video. So, Mary B. Exactly. Where are you now, Jeff? Where are the trolley trolls at? Oh, I know. I wasn't here, but I'm sure Toy was going crazy up in here. Crazy. I mean, I was kind of going crazy in the car. It was like a relief. Just a relief for a minute. Like, I don't even care about the DUI. In the slightest little bit. Just don't even care. It's got to be the most expensive DUI in the history of the world. But let's watch it all go down again real quick. I was riding in the car. Of course, I've watched it about 45 times already. But let's watch it again. It's dramatic. I love it.
Will the deliberating jurors remain standing? Defendant remains standing. All other parties may be seated.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that 12 deliberating jurors and 6 alternates are present.
Yes.
May I inquire?
Yes.
Mr. Foreman, members of the jury, have you agreed upon a verdict? Yeah. Thank you. May I see the papers? Mr. Foreman, have the verdict slips been placed in this envelope and have they been in your presence ever since? Foreman, on docket number 2282CR117001, murder in the second degree, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you? No, do you agree?
Yes.
Do all of you agree? Yes. Thank you. 002, what say is the defendant at the bar not guilty or guilty?
Not guilty.
Of.
Is not guilty or guilty of that charge or any lesser included charge? Thank you. Specifically, number 5, operating under the influence of liquor by operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or greater. Correct?
Yes.
So say you, Mr. Foreman?
Guilty.
So say you all?
Yes.
003, what say is the defendant at the bar leaving the scene after accident resulting in death? Is the defendant not guilty or guilty?
Not guilty.
So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you all? Jurors, hearken your verdict as the court records that you upon your oath say the defendant on 001 is not guilty, on 002 is guilty of operating under the influence of liquor, and 003 not guilty. Thank you.
All right, jurors, everybody please be seated. Jurors, we thank you for your service. We're going to send you back. Your service is complete. I'd like to come back and talk to you a little bit afterwards. So thank you very much.
All rise. Jurors, follow me.
I bet the jury can hear him now.
Media, please exit the courtroom immediately.
Karen Reed?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Tony,
Hold
not
on,
yet.
hold on,
Not
everyone.
yet.
Karen Reed, Ms. Reed, can I have your attention? As required by statute, I must inform you that the records regarding the charges that you have been found not guilty will be sealed by the Commissioner of Probation by the court unless you notify the Commissioner of Probation in writing within 10 days that you do not want these records sealed. To request that these records not be sealed, you may use the request not to seal form, which is posted on the trial court's website on mass.gov. I cannot accept the form here in court. You must submit it to the Commissioner of Probation at the address provided on the form. Please be aware that if the records regarding the charges which you have been found not guilty are sealed, you will be unable to access the sealed record of not guilty dispositions or any other records regarding those charges. If you want copies of any documents regarding those charges before the records are sealed, you should request copies from the court within 10 days. Do you understand? Thank you.
All right, so we need a date for sentencing. Can we do it next week?
And we would be prepared to go forward today.
Okay. Okay.
One last sidebar. One last sidebar.
The final sidebar.
Yeah. The final sidebar.
Oh, look at her parents.
It's awesome.
They're such a nice family. Oh, and Nathan too. I love him so much. He's so nice outside. He's like the everyman in front of outside the courthouse.
All right, so Ms. Giannetti, you're ready to go forward today as well?
Yes, please.
Okay, Mr. Brennan, what's the Commonwealth's recommendation?
Your Honor, the Commonwealth moves for sentencing. We recommend probation, 1 year, 24D program.
So the standard that everybody else gets on their first time OUI?
Certainly.
Okay.
We ask that you be treated no differently, no better.
So I'm happy to do it. All right, thank you all.
1 year probation on docket number 002, the lesser included offense of operating under the influence, 1 year probation. Thank you. The 24D program.
Media, please exit
Thank
the
you.
courtroom immediately.
Yeah, this is the kind of movie watch. There's a lot of emotion right there.
Oh my God. Like,
Tons of emotion.
it's so much. I was so mad I wasn't there. Like that screaming outside the courthouse. They shut down the whole street. So everyone was in the street.
See that
And-
right there? That's Dean getting the link. So Dean's trying to lie to you on it. So
Ah,
twice
Dean.
I've seen it. Twice.
Come on, Dean. Start in trouble. Always.
Yeah, Dean. Yeah, bastard.
What if I missed him already saying?
What?
Hey, Laleen.
Hey, maybe. I said, what if I missed Dean already saying to start trouble?
He's claiming that he hasn't been sent a link to come on.
Yeah, but we just refuted those claims as well.
Mhm.
Bam.
Yeah.
Bam. I'm controlling this there, boy. Man, I'm gonna watch it again.
It's
We've
worth
been waiting.
watching 1,000
We've been
times
waiting for
Yes.
just to
this
hear the crowd scream
so
in the
long.
background. Hey, but when y'all, if this is the view where you can see TB in the background after they start hugging, watch TB start crying. Like that got
The
me.
deliberating jurors remain
Aw.
standing. Defendant remains standing. All other parties may be seated.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that 12 deliberating jurors and 6 alternates are present.
Yes,
May I inquire?
yes.
Mr. Foreman, members of the jury, have you agreed upon a verdict?
And you
Thank
can
you. May I
see
see the
Paul's
papers?
face in this one too.
Mr. Foreman, have the verdict slips been placed in this envelope and have they been in your presence ever since?
Wonder what she thought reading that.
It won't be on Hulu until tomorrow. Oh, sorry. I was looking at the Discord.
Mr. Foreman, on docket number 2282CR117001, murder in the second degree, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you?
Watch Paul's face on the
No, no.
second count and
Do you
then the
agree?
OUI.
Yes. Do all of you agree?
Yeah, we've done so
Thank you.
more on Paul already.
002, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar not guilty or guilty?
Not guilty.
Of,
Fuck you, Blade.
Is not guilty or guilty about that charge or any lesser included charge? Thank you. Specifically, number 5, operating under the influence of liquor by operating a motor vehicle
Oh,
with blood alcohol
Paul.
level
Oh,
of
too
0.08
bad.
or greater. Correct? So say
He's
you,
heard
Mr.
those
Foreman?
terms before in
So
court.
say you all? 003, what say is the defendant at the bar leaving the scene after accident resulting in death, defendant not guilty or guilty? So say you, Mr. Foreman?
That
So say
crowd,
you
man,
all?
that crowd.
Jurors, how can you do
There.
it as the court records that you upon your oath say the defendant on 001 is not guilty, on 002 is guilty of operating under the influence of liquor, and 003 not guilty? Thank you.
all right.
Now,
Jurors,
in between
everybody
this and the
please be
sidebar,
seated.
you'll be able to see TV.
Jurors, we thank you
Okay.
for your service. We're going to send you back to services complete. I'd like to do that.
Yannetti got me here.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that is so real.
All
Yeah.
rise.
He's wiping his face right now, but you're going to see it here in a minute. And the girl in the green next to him keeps looking at him like, are you okay? I thought it was all during this. Maybe his head's cut off in the stream, but he's literally boo-hooing right here.
Yeah, I haven't watched one where I can see him yet.
I've seen so many different angles today. I don't.
Karen Reed,
Not yet.
not yet,
Tony,
hold
not
on,
yet,
hold on,
not yet.
everyone. Karen Reed, Ms. Reed, can I have your attention? As required by statute, I must inform you that the records regarding the charges that you have been found not guilty will be sealed by the Commissioner of Probation by the court
Oh,
unless you
I see.
notify the Commissioner of Probation in writing within 10 days that you do not want these records sealed.
Yeah, you can
To
zoom in
request
on
that
him and
these
watch his
records
face.
not be sealed, you may use the request not to seal form, which is posted on the trial court's website on mass.gov. I cannot accept the form here in court. You must submit it to the Commissioner of
And the
Probation
picture
with the address
behind him.
provided on the form. Please be aware that if the records regarding the charges which you have been found not guilty are sealed, you will be unable to
how
access
many
the sealed
times the
record of the
girl
not
looks
guilty
at him like-
dispositions or any other records regarding those charges. If you want
Oh, God.
Man, that got me so hard watching him cry. Just that, like,
It got me
validation,
so
you know,
hard.
he felt.
Rolling 2025.
Okay, shut up, Danny. Dang it.
So,
Got
did
me
you
so
guys hear
hard.
about what happened with DePietro?
Yes.
Oh,
I
yeah,
saw it.
we've
I'm
all
trying to
watched
find
that
it.
video in the chat in Discord.
Where is that video?
Oh my God. And
I can
them
send it
like,
to you, but it's been posted several times in Discord today.
Also, Dina did a really good interview on Boston 25, and I can't fucking find it.
I
oh,
haven't
did
seen
you
her
With the
did?
young
interview.
guy,
I,
with
I
the young
saw her
guy in the
being
suit.
I saw her being the bodyguard, like when they were interviewing Bill Reed separate at the car, and also Nathan. Like she's literally like, they said that's enough, get away, and she's getting them into the car. She was boss out there. But yeah, I'll send you the
She
Petro
always is.
thing.
And here's a good bit.
wild, man. Like,
Stop looking at me.
right?
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
it's so funny, and like you look.
But I want that interview from Dina. I watched it and I tried to remember what time it was. It should be easy to find because it's with the young dude that's always in the suit, you know. But I'll find it.
Look at Aiden's case, like all of these people that are just hell bent on bringing him down. He doesn't even have to do anything. They always keep shooting themselves in the foot. It's hilarious. I love it. I'm here for all of it. Every time there's somebody who does something stupid, like John
Hey,
DePietro.
what's going on, man? Hold on a sec. Come here. Let me. I'm trying to squeeze
Watch
you into the
this.
mix
This
here.
is it right here.
There he is, folks. And Vinny
Oh, Vinny.
Hey, Vinny.
Yeah, look how happy Glary is because Glary's been trolling the shit out of Vinny.
Right.
He was like, "Go, go."
I heard someone on Resistance this morning, and like someone that was at the courthouse was like, "Oh my God, it's Vinny," and someone else was like, "Oh yeah, he's here all day. You're gonna get sick of him pretty soon." And I'm like, "Yep, that's true. The man is just standing around like all day."
Yeah, it's good though.
How are you? Having a long time no see.
Are you over it? Are you tired?
Not over it. Just there's the adrenaline, there's the rush because of the moment. Then the moment happens, and then there's the 3 hours of live coverage after the moment, and then there's the draining, and now you've got to refresh to do the 2-hour show tonight.
Oh, yeah, you're good for it.
Wow. Yeah. Have you ever seen anything like this?
I really have not, and I thought I'd seen it all.
Right.
But what they were able to do in public with the crowd, and I like the cops. They finally kind of relaxed their tough ass attitude, and they let them kind of enjoy the moment and be real. I appreciate that. I've told folks, I said, we worked together many years ago.
Yeah.
So you look the same, and I don't. So I'm
no. I
idea.
started dyeing my hair silver. I put silver highlights in.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Distinguished.
Yeah. Great to see you. This is a moment. This is a real moment. And here's the big question, right? And Linda,
Have a say hello to me. Hi, Vinny.
Right. Let me see if I can do this so they hear you chat there, Linda. Okay, go ahead.
Does change the blueprint for criminal defendants in high-profile cases? Does this change the blueprint? This movement came because of a local, whatever we want to call them, journalist, live streamer, blogger, whatever you want to call it, started a movement. We know that in every case, every trial, there are issues. We know in every case, in every trial, there are imperfect investigations. If those things get blown up like that, could you see a defense team working with someone who's got some level of influence that changes the playing field?
I don't think Aiden had that level of influence when it started. What gave him that level of influence was the fact that this case smelled and stunk, and that's what it was. You had an attack upon women. You had
but I hate cutting her off, but just one but.
Very few people
can. It all started with Haas Long. It all started with Haas Long, and in the end, Haas Long had very little to do with anything.
Well, in the end, Haas Long had a lot to do with everything, because it showed that the Commonwealth would go to getting a major agency like Cellbrite to change software to delete a search that was important to the defense, that was exculpatory. And it showed that power rules and power wrecks. And I think the whole idea of power against a young woman who was on trial for murder,
good.
I think that
she's so good at what she does. She's so that's why I can't have her on my show anymore. She just takes it over.
Yeah, don't fuck with Linda.
Vinny, I know, I don't know if you know who I am, but I've given Court TV a bit of a hard time.
What?
But I gotta give you love because you talked about the shoe. It was a different shoe, man. And you covered it. And that means the world to me. So I got the opportunity to tell you that, and I'm grateful. So thank you for that.
Ask about the shoe, says Patty Paralegal.
Yes, about the shoe.
All right.
Oh, Patty got
How do you
mentioned.
enjoy the night?
I'm gonna go freshen up.
Okay, then you're gonna
and I'll be back in front of the courthouse.
Wow, Petty.
Yeah, 2 hours. 8 to 10 on Court TV, your front row seat to justice.
Nice seeing you, Vinny.
Great to see everyone. Bye-bye, El Jefe.
Nice to meet you.
See, like I was not like, I don't know what the hype was all about with Vinny, like in the beginning. And like, just the like towards the end of everything, he just becomes really, really likable.
Well, because he flipped sides here in the
Well, cause
last 2
yeah,
weeks.
because he told the truth, you know. And we knew, like he didn't have to announce it. We just knew.
Well, after you saw that tail light and those pictures, it's hard to deny it after that.
Mm-hmm. For me, it was the arm.
Yeah. I mean, it's so many things. You could pick one of 5 things to hang you up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone has
Most
like the
murder,
thing that made them say, "Yeah, no, that didn't happen that way."
yeah, most murder trials, you don't have that much evidence on the defense side.
Right.
You
Yes,
only have it.
Misty. Yes.
Misty, we freed Karen Reed while you were at work.
Yeah,
People's head
we.
tail light.
While I was at work too. But I mean, Benny's not bad. He's a little annoying to listen to, but it's better when he's like not on the court TV and when he's on his own lives, you know.
Well, he hung out like in the crowd, you know, and he wasn't like a dick about it, you know. Like you would think, first of all, he's like a big, important, kind of famous guy, and second of all, like there's a lot of fucking people out there, and they are like it is crowded, and like everyone's nice and everything, but if you're not like in the movement, I could see how it would be annoying. But he was cool the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just
All
too
right, what
much.
did John
Too much.
DePietro do?
Too much stuff. He
Well,
backed up into somebody's car.
the accident is caught on this person's dash cam, but that video hasn't been released yet that I've seen, but the aftermath has been released.
Yeah, I saw
Of
this.
this incident here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he literally
Yeah.
broke a tail light with his vehicle in a parking lot.
He backed up into somebody trying to leave.
Oh, there was video of it. I love
Yeah.
that.
You rep. They're from Texas. Look at that tail light. That's how it breaks, John. Not teeny tiny shards, right?
Oh my God, DePietro.
And she tells him, listen, she's going to say, you should tell the cops. He's like, no, I'm not going
You
to do
should
that.
probably talk to one of the police officers at the end of the driveway is what I'd do. Oh, okay.
Is this just
That's
some
cool.
random
I'll
guy?
just let them know that John DePietro just hit somebody's car and isn't going to tell the police about it. You just did. It's on camera. John DePietro just hit somebody with Texas plates car, and he's not going to talk to the police about it. He's going to leave them a note. Yep, I just saw the whole thing from my car, and it's on my dash cam. He's over here. Yeah, John DePietro just backed right into this Texas car while I sat here in my car with my dash cam on. Those are pieces. Yeah, that I just said, John, is that what happens to taillight? It doesn't shred?
What are the chances?
47 pieces?
This lady hit the gold mine. She must have been psyched.
I mean, that proves how easily you can back into a parked car in a small space and break a tail light.
Exactly.
I mean, he literally broke the case.
I was going to say he murdered somebody.
Like he did more experimentation than Aperture did right there, and he didn't get 400 grand.
Well, here now I have proof because it was just me.
He's going to turn a bill in now.
In reverse, yeah, that's what happens. He reversed right into this. I'm sitting in the car right here, and I watched it happen. He pulled here, and he went. He pulled up, and he went. Clip.
Yeah, then he did deny a collision afterwards.
And I saw him not parked there, so I jumped out of the car to be like, I think I need to get that license plate. And then I saw
he
the
went
head
on X
pop up, and I was
denying
like,
a collision after leaving his information.
Oh, I have a DePietro video too.
Oh.
I have.
I also posted Kim Fair in Discord too, having a meltdown in the car while she was driving after the verdict.
Oh yeah, I saw that one too. Yeah, I watched his live show last night where he talked about like why he didn't want to go outside yesterday. And Gary was very excited to get this. So I'm sending it to you now, Danny.
Did he blame Gary and his sign? He was too intimidated?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like it worked.
we knew you
Like it
had to
worked
have
better
a good one.
than he thought.
We knew you had to have something good from yesterday.
Yeah, that is
I
so
have a lot
cool.
of good stuff.
But here's Kelly.
Kelly. Yeah.
It's always hanging out, slumming it in the chats. Been really.
Said JFK was doing a Proctor watch party. I wonder if he's planning on streaming that stuff on his show.
You know what? I'm not even going to
He'll get
watch
shut
Proctor.
down. He's
Why
already
should I
shut down.
give Proctor the opportunity to apologize to all the
I'm
everybody?
wondering how
You
low
think
he's
that's
gonna
what he's
go.
gonna do?
I really think
Exactly. I
he's
already
gonna
saw a
say,
50-second clip. He's going to fucking try to apologize and say
yeah,
that
they've got him
it's
crying and
fucking
all that,
ridiculous. Fuck
but
that. Fuck Proctor.
he's
Fuck
gonna
all that shit.
say he saw text messages and that's why he was so mad.
And I
Oh,
don't fucking care. Sorry.
He's gonna try to. That's why they're
Why they would
releasing it
even.
tonight, is to get everybody in an uproar. He's gonna say he saw private messages between Karen and David, and that's what made him so upset about her. But he didn't have the phone and didn't have the passcode to the phone yet. But that's what he's gonna say.
And that'll be something else he did wrong.
Yeah.
not supposed to do that either.
He
Good
couldn't
thing you
care.
got fired, jackass.
Yeah, he was on there crying and shit. You're a grown man up there making $100,000. All you
Oh
gotta do is
no, there are
be an
consequences
upstanding
for my
citizen.
actions. Oh.
Couldn't even be a
Active
good guy.
actions and actions.
Couldn't even be a good guy. They asked him if it had happened in any other cases. What do you think he said? No. Like, come on, man. You were doing this all day, every day. You and your friends. It's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
It's who you are.
He thought he had her
He said
nailed
it
to
doesn't
right.
define him. So bullshit. It doesn't define you.
Yep.
That's your personal thoughts. That's how you act in
There's
private.
no
That's who
way
you
Do you
that
are.
think
glass
nobody's
got there
looking?
without him planning it. There's absolutely no, and I hope they ask him that question, because there's absolutely no way that glass got there without him planning it.
Yep. He ain't gonna admit to any of that because then he'd be criminally liable. And that would open up the fucking police force for a massive lawsuit.
Damn right, Toy. Bring down that house of cards.
Yeah. Luckily, Turtle Boy pulled the first card out, tipped the first domino.
Oh,
As a
Glaire's
matter
playing
of
it on
fact,
Dick Nights.
I know that 227 really didn't play a giant part in this one because they focused on the stuff they should have focused on the first time. No collision. So if you don't have a collision, you got to give me another story. And I'm sure that's what it was quick. I bet they spent all that time debating on that damn DUI. Every second of that time
Which
debating on the DUI.
seriously, like, you truly believe that she didn't do it. You got all of this evidence and saw all of this stuff that has happened to her for the past 3 years, and you're still gonna give her an OUI? Like, let it
He
go.
admitted to drinking on. That's why they asked about the clips because she admitted to drinking.
First of all, that doesn't prove anything, you know?
No,
And
but
second of all, like, just let it go. Like, she's been through enough.
very wild. But we freed Karen Reed today. Finally.
Agreed.
Of Karen Reed.
Yeah, David, this is Kelly Reed. She's a cousin of Karen Reed, technically of Karen's father, as we discussed. But just how are you feeling? How's your family feeling today? Overwhelmed. I don't think any of it's sunk in yet, but we are happy for Karen, and I'm especially happy for Bill and Janet and Nathan and Liz, and not having to come back here anymore, not having that worry about what would happen to her or what her future held, and you know, the relief on Bill's face and Karen's face. And I want for her now whatever she wants for herself, whatever will make her happy in the days and years to come. I hope she gets all of that in spades. Mr. Reed had said to us often, you know, he in his words, should be on the back nine by now, you know, retirement, enjoying life.
She spent a lot of time out here on YouTube.
Oh, Kelly?
Yeah.
And she was probably a very good representative of the public to the defense team and to Karen about issues we were raising, questions we had that the jury might have. You know, it probably helped a lot, her play in all this.
Right. Yeah, she was the advocate for us.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
she did a good job because it wasn't just like here and there. She's,
Yeah, she
2 or
was
3
literally
times
in
a week,
every chat. Yeah.
She
2 or
popped up a
3,
lot.
4 days a week, just
She
hanging out
even
with
went
everybody.
on Melanie Little stream with Betterow right when she came out of the courthouse to thank, the creators and him and stuff. It was very sweet.
That's so nice.
What stress have you seen this put on this
Super.
family? Well, I mean, I don't think anybody can prepare you for this. I mean, we know Karen, we know her heart, we know how she was brought up, and we know she would never hurt anybody. And I don't mean disrespect to anybody else by saying that, but we never believed that she was guilty of this. And it's hard when you believe in your whole heart that somebody's innocent and other people don't, and they're trying to punish her for something we never believed she did.
How is that? I was wondering because you brought it up. How is that for your family? Of course, nobody disagrees that there's a victim here, right? I mean, there's a man who died. What is it like for your family to be fighting for Karen's innocence, but also acknowledging what the O'Keefes are going through?
I don't really know how to explain that except that, decent humanity. Like, Karen loved John and he's gone. And unfortunately for his family, he's not coming back. We've gotten Karen back. He's not coming back. And of course we feel horrible about that. I mean, I do. And I hope we can all just find some peace. It's been a lot in both families. Yeah. And I don't mean to speak for them for sure, but it's been a lot for everybody.
What do you think is next for the Reed family, knowing that this criminal case is behind them?
Hopefully a good night's sleep. It's been a long time since we've had a full night's rest without some worry about her, all the stuff going on behind the.
Yes, Lord J, FKR, what's up?
Yeah. Woo!
We freed Karen Reed today.
Yeah, us, the chat rats.
Yes, us, the energy, the people.
Yep.
Those boots on the ground people should be able to go home tonight and get a good night's rest.
Yeah, maybe stop using all of their sick days from work.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking we should do? We should do like a small little fundraiser for Dina. Give it to Robin G and let Robin G give it to her. That's what we should do.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yep, that would be nice.
Yeah, because she's like, she doesn't get anything off the channels, and she's a big part of this.
Nothing off the channels, nothing, won't post her Venmo and stuff on the lives.
You don't think Resistance gives her anything for what she does for them?
She won't take it. We talked about it when she was on the show.
Well, how are we going to get it to her then?
Well, like I
Maybe.
said, Robin G and let Robin G give it to her.
Yeah,
You
but
gotta
she's not
sneak over to her house and put the envelope in her seat of her car or something. I don't know.
All right, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, Dina. Yeah, well, but she hadn't taken any money. Somebody gave her a car.
Yeah, she named it. She named it
Silver
Silver Fox. Yeah. After the
she won't accept any money, so we got to work around that. I think the trial's
Maybe
over now. So
just buy her like diamonds with it, and then she can.
how much money do you think we can raise? I was thinking maybe we could raise up a couple $100. Something like that.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, she works at a gym, so it would probably be, a generous gift for the hours that she's missed.
Yeah,
I
I
know she
think
goes around her
Petty's right.
schedule too.
I think Petty's right. I don't think she'll take it.
She'll take it. The trial's over. We'll make her take it somehow or another. We'll make them. We got plenty of boots on the ground people.
Has she subscribed to your new channel and to this Discord?
Probably not.
She was announcing it when I was there last week.
Rat House Media?
Yeah, like I went on and I repeated it a bunch of times. So, I mean, maybe she didn't sign up right then, but she has the name. And she was upset that you got terminated. She was mad about it. She mentioned it to me.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Still sucks.
the scenes, and especially for Bill and Janet and Nathan and Karen and her amazing team. I mean, I cannot say enough about her defense team. We love them all. We've trusted them all throughout all of this. And Karen was as much of a part of that defense as any one of the attorneys. You know, it was her life, and
She was involved,
Yeah.
completely.
she really was. And a lot of people speculate, like, would she want to go into law or anything like that?
Would she?
I don't know what she'll want to do. Her and I have teased, and I hope she spends the rest of her life in jean cutoffs and flip flops.
Thank you so much,
You're
Kelly.
welcome.
Kelly Reed, a relative, a cousin of the Reed family. Thank you for your time. I
Yeah,
really appreciate
Kelly.
it.
Fucking love
Yep.
Kelly.
Yep.
Logger.
I know. By now he should have earned the badge of journalist because the bar is pretty fucking low.
Well, he
Right?
correct one interview I watched of him. The guy was like, you know, how does a local blogger? He goes, journalist. He goes, I'm sorry, I mean journalist.
Well, he should be saying that by now. I
Yep.
mean, he's
Yep.
done more than most fucking. I
Followed
don't know.
leads and made breaking news in this case, and is
All
obviously
the bunch of
got
charges.
great evidence in his charges. Like, I mean, he
He gets
deserves
to
it, every
battle
bit
a
of
big
it.
First
And I
Amendment
know
type
they were
case.
asking the hypothetical question earlier, who will Karen's first interview be with? And
Who
you
was
know,
asking that?
Melanie and Betero were talking about it, and they kind of snickered and was like, well, I know who I would do it with, because no one else would know about this case without him. Not that I expect her to be on there tonight or anything, but I feel like she owes that to him personally.
Well, you
There's not
saw
gonna be
he's
no doubt
making
she owes him to be on that live. I mean, I don't guess she owes any of us anything, but him.
She owes him. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was her fighting alone with her family and Yannetti until Turtle Boy brought it to the public. I mean, we are all here because of him, pretty much, especially the people who aren't local.
Yeah.
Everybody should agree with that for sure.
Well, he's making a movie now.
Yeah, I
He
saw that. He's like, we can finally say it. There's a movie. Like, no, you pretty much have said it the whole time.
exactly. I'm not telling you about what I'm doing with this movie making company, but
We should
I'll tell you later.
we should think about who's going to play the parts. That would be interesting to get the chat's feedback on who's going to play what roles, because they said it's like all major actors and actresses in this.
Ooh. I've had these in my head before, but now I forget. I like Laura Linney for Judge Bev. I have always really liked that. I like Mark Ruffalo as Alessi.
Dude, check this out. Clerk is coming out of his shell. Look at this.
I saw Clerk. Yeah.
I don't know if I got him backwards or not.
Seems like
Clerk's coming out of his shell. That
I
wrench.
saw Clerk posting a lot on X today.
Uh-oh.
Clerk.
Get
What's going
wound
on?
up.
What's going on, buddy?
Get up here and even out the
Where is Dean
demographic.
at? Where is Dean?
Yeah, right?
He's a little preoccupied right now.
But I looked up and we lost 8 people. Must be going to
They're going to watch Stupid Proctor. I don't know. I don't think
I'm not going to watch.
JFK is streaming it, and then Glare is streaming it on that Patreon stuff that he created or whatever. But I
JFK
can
gonna get kicked off. He's tried this before.
Well, I mean, we watched Body in the Snow with him, and like
And it got shut down, right?
No, I remember
Right.
watching it all with him. But if I thought, like, on my Hulu, it shows upcoming premieres tonight, but it doesn't give me details, so I just assumed it was the Proctor stuff. But then MJ or you said it was tomorrow, but I'll watch it on there if
Yeah, I'm gonna watch
JFK
it on
gets
Hulu.
taken down.
Yeah, this stream's gonna go by fast because I'm not missing Turtle Boy tonight.
I don't think he's going on tonight. He hasn't
What?
scheduled it yet. I don't see anything
He
on
was
his
talking
Twitter.
about
But
he was going to have 20,000 people on tonight.
Yeah, that's the comment that he made earlier, is how big of a group he would have. But I mean, it's 7:30. I mean 7:24. So for me, it's usually about 6 more minutes before we get notification. But he may not because of the Proctor interview. I wouldn't be surprised if he waited till afterwards. That way he can comment on it.
No, I don't think we should give Proctor that much fucking credit. Who gives a fuck what Proctor's saying?
he said, like 20 minutes ago, he said, I'd like to officially let all 18 jurors know that my DMs are wide open, and so is my email.
I'm
I would love to.
surprised none of them have come out yet. Like I expected, when there's a verdict, they're usually wanting to talk about it. But when things happen like last trial, I didn't expect anyone, but I fully expected someone to already have come
I
forward.
mean,
Like they
that
know the
crowd.
press that's on this.
Yeah, well, that crowd was loud.
It was
Like,
fantastic. That was just amazing to hear that inside. And I know the defense team and Karen and her family. I felt bad for the O'Keefes during that moment because it's not like they're cheering against them. They just don't realize that this crowd and us supporters 100% believe that Don doesn't get justice until Karen's out of the picture. And
Yeah, but
then
imagine sitting on that jury today when they got through reading everything and the last not guilty, not even out of their mouth, and just a massive uproar outside.
And I
Just
think it was
screaming.
Sue O'Connell during her interview that said there were 2 women jurors who were sad. So I'm thinking maybe they were the ones who settled for OUI and maybe felt he could have possibly have gotten stronger, but they were the minority. But she said 2 of them were sad and most of them were smiling at the family and stuff. Like they were then looked relieved.
Yeah.
yeah, I bet you it was like one person that literally would not change.
Oh, I'm
Was like,
sorry. Wait,
no.
Mary B, were you reading something that I interrupted?
I was reading his tweet, but I think I was done with it.
I need
Um,
somebody to find Dina's interview on Boston 25.
I haven't seen that yet. I sent you the
Me
stuff
neither.
that I mentioned. I sent you the DePietro reaction and I sent you Kim Fair's reaction.
Yeah.
I'm having to do all this from my phone, so if I go away from StreamYard too long, I get kicked out, but I can try.
Yeah,
Very
I'm right back.
involved in this trial. To see the verdict today, what was your reaction?
It was emotional, man. It was just, it's something I've been dreaming about for a long time, and to actually live it, it hasn't set in yet what happened. It was just, I've been mentally preparing for this day for a long time, both the worst and the best. And I'm so happy that it was the best.
And how would you characterize what you've done for this trial?
I'd like to think I've shined a spotlight on it, with my journalism and my activism with this. I've exposed several lies that the district attorney has, put out there. And like, for instance, speaking with Lucky Loughran, who is a major witness for the defense in this case, I interviewed him before the state police did. I found him. I found the plow driver who didn't see a body at 2:30 when he went by, who saw a Ford Edge. I found him when the state police couldn't. And 2 days later, they responded to my article by interviewing him themselves because they had no choice. So I like to think that, I put a spotlight on it. I made it sure that made it so that they couldn't hide what they were doing.
Now, in a lot of cases, a lot of high-profile cases, we haven't seen the social media outreach that we saw in this case. Do you feel that you're responsible in some way for the verdict today?
I think I had a little to do with the social media aspect of it. I don't know about the verdict because these are 12 impartial jurors who made this decision. But I'd like to think that some of the evidence that was presented to them in court was a result of my journalism and my influence and my activism online. And so in that regard, and just spreading the word about it, man. Like I've been doing standouts. We put up billboards all over Norfolk County for Free Karen Reed. I made a video called Framed that's gotten over 1 million views. So it was almost impossible to live in Norfolk County and not know about this case. I spread awareness about it. They wanted this to be in the darkness. They did not want anyone to know what was going on in here. And I made that impossible for them.
Anything else you want to mention? I guess seeing the verdict out, were you outside Or
I was
were
inside. I was in the
you were
courtroom.
in there. What was it like inside the
The
courtroom?
most emotional experience I've ever been a part of. It was like an emotional roller coaster. Just seeing Karen Reed and her team in there, how nervous they were. Alan Jackson pacing around like I've never seen him before. Like unknown, not knowing what was about to happen. It was crazy. And to finally hear not guilty, was just you realize, oh my God, it's over. Karen Reed is free. It's finally over.
Well, now there's the question though: who killed John O'Keefe?
I know who killed John O'Keefe. The people inside Brian Albert's house did. I don't know who exactly delivered the fatal blow, but Brian Albert was in there, Colin Albert was in there, Brian Higgins was in there, and the dog was in there. And quite frankly, every single person inside that house who has remained silent is just as guilty as the people who delivered the fatal blows to John. They did it.
Anything else worth mentioning?
Nope. I think we're good.
Thank you very much.
That's awesome. Good for TB.
Yeah. I sent you DePietro's response and Kim Fair's response, and I think Sweet Woman has found Dina's interview on 25. I'm trying to get a timestamp.
Cool.
All right, here we go. Let's go. Yep. I mean, here, I think the connection is fine on X, and it is. And
He
we
was so
are on
confident.
Facebook, and we are on YouTube,
We about to eat that crow.
and we're going to see how long we can go. Here are all the Karen Reed supporters, folks who are on Verdict Watch here at the trial. What are they debating? I don't know.
Idiot.
Gian says it sounds fine. Sounds good. Folks, we are live. Yes. And I'm going to show you the crowd. I mean, I could show you myself, but now there's also a rumor going around that I was involved with some kind of a motor vehicle situation here around the courthouse, but I'm here to tell you there was no collision. There was no collision. So now, right now, we are.
How can you be more of a liar when it's on video?
There he is. Look at him.
There was no collision. He's finally saying it. There was no collision. You're right. There wasn't. I mean, you hit somebody, but
He literally proved the prosecution or the defense's case in the parking lot and then come on and use the defense's closing argument.
Yeah, you just broke
trying
that
to take Walter's job.
taillight.
Looks like him.
Oh, I mean, he admits to doing it, but he says he doesn't want to go get a police officer, so he got a dry cleaning receipt out of his vehicle and wrote his email and website on there. And that's already been
They
posted.
took a picture of it in that video, in the full video.
Heather. Let's see, I do have a pocket. Folks, again, we are waiting. Let me do a quick camera.
Oh, wait, Danny, we also need to pull Yellow Cottage Tails feed whenever
Okay,
Coffin
here we
Deffer
go,
came up for
everybody.
the
This is a good.
verdict and immediately left. I haven't watched it yet, but I've been hearing all about it.
That's all you needed, Ginger?
Yeah, we don't need to look at his stupid face. Yeah, they let him go up there so that no one could hold up
Doesn't
signs.
he listen to the verdict at some point?
That's really crappy that they let him in the courtroom and didn't let Ted Daniels and Jess Machado. Like, he didn't
Yeah,
even have, like, that was ridiculous.
I think this ended before the verdict was read.
But apparently, like, Kevin Linehan and Boundless Millennial and Kay Peter and all them were on his Yellow Cottage Shells for the verdict. And Coffin Daffer jumped up. She said, I just have to be here. And the first not guilty, she's like, I guess if you got money in this state, you can kill people or something like that. And then just left. And she has been silent ever since.
Oh, poor thing.
Look at freeze frame. Man. GQ.
Fucking loser. Show the little clip I sent you. It's just,
All right.
it's like,
I'm
it's,
looking for it.
oh, okay.
You didn't send it to me.
I didn't?
Nope.
Will the deliberating jurors remain standing? Defendant remains standing. All other parties may be seated.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that 12 deliberating jurors and 6 alternates are
I
present.
mean, how much of a
May I inquire?
testimony was it to how
Mr. Foreman, members
confusing
of the
the
jury, have
slip
you agreed
was
upon
that the foreman couldn't even answer the questions? Like they're that confused. He couldn't even answer the questions. That's how ridiculous this court is.
Look at that freeze frame. Got that one eye coming out of that helmet. Doth Canoni.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you. May I see the papers?
Ah, too big.
Mr. Foreman, have the verdicts just been placed in this envelope and have they been in your presence ever since?
Man, I'm getting notifications from something. I cannot find it. Cannot find it.
Oh, I know. It's the file too big. I'm trying to make it smaller.
Mr. Foreman, on docket number 2282CR117001, murder in the second degree, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you? No. Do you agree?
Yes.
Do all of you agree? Thank you. 002, what say is the defendant at the bar not guilty or guilty?
Not guilty.
Of.
Is not guilty or guilty about that charge or any lesser included charge? Thank you. Specifically number 5, operating under the influence of liquor by operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or greater. Correct?
Yes.
So say you, Mr. Foreman?
Guilty.
So say you all?
Yes.
003, what say is the defendant at the bar leaving the scene after accident resulting in death, defendant not guilty or guilty? So say you, Mr. Foreman?
That's
So say
crazy.
you all? Jurors, hearken your verdict as the court records that you upon your oath say the defendant on 001 is not guilty, on 002 is guilty. As the court records that you upon your oath say the defendant on 001 is not guilty, on 002 is guilty of operating under the influence of liquor, and 003. Jurors, hearken your verdict as the court records after accident resulting in death, defendant not guilty or guilty? So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you all? Jurors, hearken your verdict as the court records that you upon your oath say the defendant on 001 is not guilty, on 002 is guilty of operating under the influence of liquor, and 003 not guilty. Thank you.
And you see, they're going
All
to
right,
tell
jurors,
everyone in the
everybody please be
courtroom to
seated.
sit down, but the Key
Jurors.
family leaves, which I understand. But
Do what?
she tells the jurors and everyone to be seated, but then the O'Keefe family gets up and leaves. But I understand because they're hearing that reactment from the crowd and they're upset. But I've
What
seen
would make you think?
Bev admonish in that other trial that the police officer husband was killed. Like she verbally admonished the wife for crying in the courtroom after it was a hung jury. But yet she didn't say anything, to the family for getting up and leaving when she told everyone to sit down. And that's, they're still supposed to obey her, rules or whatever. It was just very ridiculous to me what she did in that other case. I can understand this.
In signs. One of the guys, I'll show it to you. I meant to load it and I could do it on the big screen, but let me just do it quickly. It's kind of comical. He put up my sign and he made a sign with me, with pictures, calls me a fraud. Don't be fooled. Know the truth. A man with that hat, very inexpensive sunglasses. He's claiming he knows what the truth is.
A man with that cheap toupee and no sunglasses.
We do.
Yeah,
You're
carrying
not-
his cheap sunglasses.
That's not a bad thing.
That's it.
Let's not, totally lose our composure here. At least they have questions, right? No such thing as a dumb question. Well, that's certainly put to the test.
Oh, all
Then
right.
it's good. That's all
was,
of it. Isn't it?
yeah, that's all. It's just
I
him.
love that it got to him like that. That is awesome.
Well, he tweeted it yesterday, like while we were there.
That's
Someone,
so cool.
yeah, it's exactly like he's giving us what we want. Does he
Right,
realize that?
exactly. I don't think he does. I think he has this like superior like complex of who he is and doesn't realize he's just a big joke.
Yeah, like
And
he's a
the
clown.
post he made on X afterwards about how, this was an injustice, but we are about to move forward with these civil cases. And, she's going to be bankrupt and her family's going to be bankrupt after paying the O'Keefes. And she's going to have to take the stand in the civil case. Like, really? You dropped your strong opinion of her guilt that quick? And then, of course, everybody in the comments was talking about, yeah, OJ got away with murder, but, he was made liable in the civil courts. And it's because it's a less burden. But this court decided that she did not hit him. Everyone was drinking that night. They're going to have a hard time in that civil suit.
Yeah, I mean, because she didn't do it.
They don't
like
know.
And
you're
They
trying
there's
to
don't
make it
know.
look
none.
like
I
she
mean,
did.
no offense to John O'Keefe, but he was so plastered that he thought it was a better idea for her to drive.
She
They
was only
can't,
there. He only wanted her there to
right.
drive.
And they
The
can't
only reason
blame
she was
her.
driving is
Right.
because he wanted her to.
Yeah. It's just silly. They should drop it and they should call the FBI and start requesting these newfound friends of theirs to turn in their electronics and disprove any doubts that they have. That would be the correct course of action for them to take at this point, which they won't do it, but that's what they should do.
Yeah.
I mean, Brennan showed a little bit of humanity at the end there, not
Heck
making him come
yeah.
back.
I mean, that's the most manly thing he's done this whole trial. And Bev. I mean, I think they both knew it would be ridiculous and that everyone would say that they were corrupt and biased if they did anything else.
Yeah, game over. He lost.
Yeah. And he took the L the way he should have, but he didn't go speak to the media. I can't wait to hear that.
Well, we might as well watch this one and see what happens. This is a good one.
Number one is I could not be standing here without these amazing supporters who have supported me and my team financially and, more importantly, emotionally for almost 4 years. And the second thing I want to say is no one has fought harder for justice for John O'Keefe than I have, and my team. Thank you. So you want to see it reopen?
I personally wish he wouldn't have made that statement right then.
No.
Why not?
This cannot be reopened. This case is over. No, I
I think the timing of it was a little inappropriate.
I'm going to leave it.
He's going to have plenty of time. He's going to have plenty of time to talk about it.
Her dad has a comment. Let her dad make a comment.
But listen to DePietro this whole time nagging her.
I want to acknowledge the strength of our daughter Karen, the support of the entire Reed extended family. I want to acknowledge the greatest team of attorneys. Our first one that we found was David Yannetti. We added Alan Jackson and Liza Little. Bob Alessi, you know about. All right. It was a fantastic team, but we needed them all to defeat this. We thank everybody for their support from the heart. We love you all of the content providers who help spread the word. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Investigation. Let's do this.
He's so cute. Content providers.
Yeah, so sincere. That
That's so cute.
that first clip you put though of her addressing the crowd was by a media person who was right there by John DePietro, and he is being so condescending when Karen's trying to talk and Alan's trying to shut him down. And then the person in front of Mr. Reed calls him Mr. O'Keefe. And Alan's like, no, that's Mr. Reed.
Yeah.
Like, if you listen to what was happening by the other news stations right there around it, like, I mean, I know it was chaos and stuff, but John was making an absolute jerk out of himself right there.
Yeah. Sounds about right. I mean, that's what he does. Sorry, Freya is just like out of control right now, and there's nothing I can do about it. So,
Yeah, Prince Lover AJ was very mad at John DePietro right there. He's like, this case is over. And he's steadily asking questions, you know, about stuff that was proven during the trial.
yep. He sucks.
I'm hoping when Danny comes back, he'll play Kim Fair's emotional breakdown in traffic that
Yeah, that
she
was
had to
pretty,
post on X.
that was pretty funny.
And then I'm sure everybody has seen the McCabe statement.
Oh my God.
McAlbert statement. It was McAlbert because they listed
It
all of
was
them.
it was Jen. Jen wrote it.
Well, she listed all their names as people who she was speaking for, and that's
Yeah.
just crazy.
Yeah, but hers first.
I do want to go on Yellow Cottage Tales and find the moment of the verdict so we can watch it because I haven't seen it yet. I've just heard about it.
Oh,
in
yeah,
Young
that'll be
Turk.
fun.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find that real quick.
So now what are we gonna do, guys?
We're gonna watch this Dana interview.
You
I think
found
there'll be
it?
plenty of
Oh,
stuff
well,
going on, like, you know, the aftermath and stuff. I think there's still gonna be a lot of stuff to talk about.
oh, absolutely. There's going to be
in there.
a major drop off of the AKR people, but the people who are anti-TURTLEBOY are going to still stay in this because of his charges.
Yeah, that's true.
We're ready to go. But today, the
He's a good
payoff, you
angle.
got the verdict everyone was looking for, and you have a special guest. Tell us more.
Yeah, Mark, I wanted to bring in Dina Warshaw because she has been down here every single day throughout this whole movement. One of the main organizers of the Free Karen Reed movement had been in touch with Karen Reed, making sure that the people that came down here were really in line with the buffer zone, that they were doing the right things that were in that court order. And I want to just hear the reaction from you when we were just talking off camera, tears in your eyes, talking about you have no PTO left.
No.
But this has been so important to you, and I want people at home to know why.
Well, a Boston police officer, John O'Keefe, was found dead on another police officer's lawn, and the investigation was shoddy from the beginning. That's important. I still believe in police. You know, not every police officer is bad. And also is a woman was being framed for a murder that she did not commit. And we just saw that the truth came out today in court, not guilty. It's important.
And you had a good relationship with the officers that were down here. We had state police troopers that were down here every single day, as well as other members of Dedham Police and some nearby towns. You said you went up and shook every single one of their hands after that verdict came down.
After the verdict came down, I went up and shook each of their hands, told them to stay safe, because a lot of them that were down here were everyday people. They're good cops. They go home to their families every night. Not every police officer is bad. People have portrayed like this movement was anti-police, and it's not that at all. Not that at all. So it was important to do that, to show that we still believe in the police officers.
What do you think Karen Reed thought when she walked outside today?
Oh, I can't even imagine what she thought. I mean, part of her truths came out, you know, that she's not guilty. And this has been a long struggle for her, not only her whole entire family. I mean, they can take a sigh of relief right now. And I'm sure more is, after they take a little breather, I'm sure something's going to come out of this as far as policy changes, family, you know, investigating family and stuff like that. Like, I think there's going to be something maybe called the Reed Act. They're very extremely smart people, both Bill and Karen, and I think they're going to make a change.
Thank you so much for chatting with us, Dina. I really appreciate it. And just to give you more context, Dina was one of the people that made sure that Karen Reed safely got into her SUV every day. She came down here and said, when people would cheer, she said, no, you need to obey by the buffer zone and not yell. You need to be respectful of the court system, the way that court system was, and wait when you hear that verdict, wait to cheer until every single verdict had been read.
Right.
So
That's what their team wanted, and it's out of respect to Boston police officer John O'Keefe's family too, because that's not forgotten. That's still a family that lost somebody, and we have to be respectful to that too.
Thank you, Dina. I'll toss it back to you, Mark and Rachel.
She couldn't have done a better job. Like, she literally crushed every point she needed to in that interview. That's outstanding.
Yeah, she did great.
Yep.
She's a great like face for, the movement. She's just like she's
I'm
very
kind of
well.
surprised Rita didn't find her way to some news station to be interviewed.
I know. Yeah, she started showing up again I think last week, and
Yeah, but she
it's
stopped
like no
by.
time had passed.
Yeah, she stopped
She's
by
out there
a
like
standout at a lunch break one day, and that was the first time we'd seen her. And then she came down to court, and then she started handing out flags yesterday. Like, hadn't
yeah.
skipped a beat.
Yeah,
But
she was like, jumping around and pumping her fists like she always does, like revving everyone up, but
and I,
also telling everyone to be quiet.
yeah, yeah, I heard her way more than I heard your friend. When I heard him get called out by Hardman, I'm like, dang, I haven't heard him near as much as I've heard Rita.
Yeah, I mean, I recognize his voice because he's the loud one. So we know what he sounds like. So I can pick his voice out.
Play the Kim Fair thing, and then I'll go look for the Yellow Cottage Tales reaction and send you a time clip, Danny. Timestamp, whatever.
Oh yeah, I don't like this chick. Hold on.
I'm not okay. This is such an injustice to this family. I've witnessed true evil for 2.5 years.
Where?
Karen Reed, her supporters, her lawyers, just total evil. And it is so unfair for this family.
Why wasn't she with the family?
Because they're like, we don't know you. Go away.
Exactly.
I don't think I've been this upset since my mom passed away.
Oh my god. Get the
Come
fuck
on.
out of here.
Come on.
I'm so sorry for that family.
Well, a verdict one way or the other wasn't going to make you feel better if you feel bad about something being passed.
Doesn't make a difference.
I honestly feel the OUI probably hurt worse though.
They could have dished out about 9 DUIs that night.
Right,
They're
but
really going to go
I
back
feel
on.
like the people on the jury that felt like they needed to give her something, or either they felt like they needed to give the O'Keefe family something, I think it was a slap in the face to them to give her OUI. Like, that did absolutely nothing for anyone. And that would
So
have ticked me off worse as a family just to go OUI.
my theory is that there was someone on the jury that was there to cause a mistrial. And they really tried to do it with that OUI charge, probably thinking that these other people wouldn't budge. Because it was probably, I bet you it was like one person, maybe two, maybe three. Like
Yeah, I heard, like, lawyer, was thinking it's more than one because it usually takes like a very strong person for it to only be one. Like, there's probably two, and after they agreed on the verdict of all not guilty, then they came back and like, no, we can't do that. I bet you that first sealed verdict slip was all not guilty. And then when they wouldn't budge, the other people said, well, fine, we're done with
Right.
this. If y'all want guilty on that, we'll do guilty on that. Let's just get this over with.
Right. That's exactly what it was. Because, and that person or people, they thought that them standing strong with that would cause a mistrial and have this friggin' confusion thing happen, which Bev would totally like take part in. But it didn't work.
I totally respect this jury for the questions that they asked. Like, if the last jury would have done this, they would have saved Karen hundreds of thousands of dollars and heartache and time.
So
Seriously.
let's
Ronnie.
change the speed a little bit and watch a little bit of this Koberger hearing before we get off of here.
Well,
Because
I'll
he
go
had
look
another
for
hearing
the yellow
today.
cottage tail
today.
reaction while you are watching this, Danny.
Yeah, it depends on how much time we got, but this is too long already. See how long it takes to finish this. This is a motion to delay or a hearing
Aren't they
about
waiting
that.
on a decision though? Like nothing was decided today, right?
Yeah, they're waiting on
Okay.
the decision.
Dude,
to
I
drop.
don't think Turtle Boy's going live, by the way.
Yeah. You don't?
No,
Well,
I
let me
don't
know.
think he
Let me
hasn't
know one
scheduled
way or
it.
the other. Okay. Well, let me know if it does because we're going.
Okay.
We got to get on this because it's time to get on this shit right here.
Oh, he's not doing one. He did announce it.
He's not.
He said, as much as I'd like to do my show tonight, I am going out to celebrate. Don't worry, I won't be in Canton and I'm not driving.
Good.
But I
Well,
can't not
well,
celebrate tonight. I'll do a show tomorrow night. Love you all.
watch whatever the fuck we want then.
Yeah,
Pinky,
watch it all
what's up? Pinky. We freed Karen Reed today.
Pinky! Guess what we did? You know.
Yeah. But now we're switching gears a little bit. Koberger hearing. We're not going to miss any more of them. Here we go. Motion to delay the trial.
All right, this is CR 0124316665, State v. Koberger. On behalf of the state, we have Mr. Thompson and Mr. Horwick. And on behalf of, when the defendant is present with counsel, Ms. Taylor, Ms. Massoth, and Ms. Barlow. This is the time set for, or at least the public portion of today's hearing is set for the motion to continue the trial filed by the defense. So we'll start with that.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Your Honor, our motion to continue has been filed and is necessary to protect Brian Koberger's rights under the United States Constitution and the Constitution of the State of Idaho. Specifically, a continuance is necessary to protect his due process rights, his rights to a fair trial, his rights to effective assistance of counsel, rights to confrontation, Mr. Koberger's right to present a full defense, and if it should come to it, a fair sentencing hearing and to be free of cruel and unusual punishment. The record of this case spans 2.5 years, and it shows that this request does not come as a surprise. Looking through the history of this case shows that the defense has met challenges and difficulties along the way, but has been dedicated in meeting all of the deadlines. We have talked about the discovery issues in this courtroom before, and that in large part brings us to need a continuance. 68 terabytes of information is a huge amount of information. There have been 23 requests for additional discovery over the span of 2.5 years and 7 motions to compel. When I say that this doesn't come.
And none of these lawyers are eloquent speakers. So I don't think it does them a disservice to be on super high speed. But I will slow it down if y'all want to.
It's a surprise that this comes from the record. I would direct the court to look back to May of 2023 and June of 2023 and our second motion to compel. Included in that was what was known as Exhibit A from the defense, and that depicted how we were receiving discovery. So this is not a new issue. This is something that's been coming up for a long time. We were receiving discovery, but it was such that you would get a file that would say hundreds of photographs, hundreds of pages of reports, each having to be looked at individually to know what was there and then organized. This case has also faced unique issues, starting with the media coverage of this high-profile case, non-dissemination orders that were addressed in courts, and then the grand jury materials that we had to fight to get access to before we could properly challenge the grand jury indictment. We faced issues with discovery, particularly with the IGG materials. We spent a great deal of time trying to get access to those materials. Those were ultimately what we could get, was ultimately presented in a motion to suppress, and that's preserved should there be a conviction in this case. We faced venue issues in this case, culminating in the change of venue and bringing us to Ada County. At the first hearing in this courtroom, we discussed the discovery issues and not having read everything and being ready with a full investigation in this case. That was apparent through our motions to strike the death penalty, our motions to compel expert disclosures filed in September and December of 2024, and request for more time to file our motions in limine that was granted in January of 2025. Throughout the course of the motions in limine and then a motion to strike death based on discovery issues in February and March of this year, the record is replete with notice that we are not prepared to go to trial in this case. The discovery is vast and we have not had a chance to review it all. That we met.
All right. We got to watch this real quick. It's not very long. But I've got to see how Plevin takes the news.
So that being before state police told us we could not be in the room.
I think Coffendorfer's response is the best, but what I was hearing throughout, like everyone should go back and watch this stream.
Because I think the images that you see right now convey the emotion that so many people have here.
Why is it taking
Sure,
longer
it's
this
okay.
time
You talk to you see she's
than the fake
flashing a
verdict?
smile now. She said, sure, it's fine. I may cry, but we're happy to talk to you. So
It's
there is
life's
this
way of just
anticipation,
kicking you in the taint just a little bit.
there is a sense of calm.
This is like
Yeah,
you
they
know,
got to handle security in addition. Yeah, I mean, it should take less time, right? Because the
this is
family.
what it feels like when you're sitting there waiting and you're watching somebody and they're about to kick somebody else right in the nuts.
Yep,
Police are already
doomsday.
there. The party's already there. But
You'll notice Coffindorfer
but I think
pops
security
on
is
though
probably the
right
main
when
reason.
the fan screen starts
Yes,
to move.
Marlene, we're gonna watch it.
I'm just letting you know, like
No,
Coffindorfer's not
we're
on yet.
gonna literally watch it with our eyeballs.
Dang you, Danny.
Ding ding.
Who
Oh, I
want
would
to
assume.
peacefully protest, but this is a lot. It's
I hope
burdensome on
Cleveland
our
plays
town.
well.
There are no parking spots. It's interfered with our budget. The police and fire department are utilizing all of their resources.
Like,
So
do none of these
for
people
those
have
reasons,
jobs?
while we do see people here
Say the guy that's
Are
streaming
you
from his
at work?
house.
I just don't understand.
No, they believe they have a calling.
So we'll send it back to you guys in studio.
Who's paying their
Continue
bills?
to give you all a
Disturbing.
what things are like
Probably your
here
taxes.
out in the scene just
That's what I
outside.
was thinking, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Peaceful, they
This is what
comply
Massachusetts
continue to
is
wait
supporting.
to get the response to that verdict.
It's such a heavy moment for supporters, whether you're looking
Connor's
for
cutting
justice one way or
clips
another, and
from
whatever
the Yellow
this verdict
Carousel
comes
stream
in,
today.
I keep going back to
That's
like
awesome.
O'Keefe. I keep going back to the
Send them
sadness that no
in the
matter
new
what this
Discord.
verdict is, John doesn't come
Connor needs to
home.
learn how to send a DM.
They do
Send
have
it
a
straight
civil
to me
suit,
so I
no matter what this
can
verdict
open it.
is, that they will continue with. So their fight, no matter the verdict in this, it appears like that will continue. We'll see how emotions are handled because
I
it
just
has
wanted to
been
get
3.5
an extra
years.
minute or two
And
in
we know
before
this
it goes
time, or
down.
we believe there's a verdict. They have said they have a verdict, but Glenn, as you pointed out, they handed in a verdict slip just an hour ago that they had a verdict and pulled it back. So our understanding is that this is now the verdict that's
Hello,
going to be
Jen.
delivered.
Hi, everyone.
There she is.
It is 3 charges.
It
Glad you
looks
could
like
join us.
I wanted the gang all here. I've been,
Yeah. Margaret's on her way.
I'm working, so, but the minute I heard, I switched over.
Okay.
The deliberating jurors remain standing. Defendant remains standing. All other parties may be seated.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that 12 deliberating jurors and 6 alternates are present.
Yes.
May I inquire?
Yes.
Mr. Foreman, members of the jury, have you agreed upon a verdict? Yes.
Let's go.
Mr. Foreman, has the verdict slip been placed in this envelope and have they been in your presence ever since? Yes. Mr. Foreman, on docket number 2282CR117001, murder in the second degree, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar guilty or not guilty? Not guilty. So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you? No. Do you agree? Yes. Do all of you agree? Yes. Thank you. 002, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar not guilty or guilty? Not guilty.
Of.
Is not guilty or guilty of that charge or any lesser included charge? Thank you. Specifically, number 5, operating under the influence of liquor by operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or greater. Correct? Yes. So say you, Mr. Foreman? Guilty. So say you all?
Yes.
003, what say you is the defendant at the bar leaving the scene after accident resulting in death? Is the defendant not guilty or guilty? So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you all? Jurors, hearken your verdict as the court records it. You upon your oath say the defendant on 001 is not
Say
guilty.
something, people.
On 002 is guilty of operating in the influence of liquor. And 003.
Is this stream on?
Thank you.
Hello.
All right, jurors, everybody please be seated. Jurors, we thank you for your service. We're going to send you back to services complete.
That's what crow tastes like right there.
Balanced
Yeah,
Millennial is speechless for the first time in
I
his
love
life.
this. I love
yeah,
this.
that's what crow tastes like. It ain't good.
Disgusting.
I am so sorry for that family.
And hearing the crowd cheering like this.
Karen Reed has been acquitted in the murder of her boyfriend.
Coffindorfer
John
already
O'Keefe.
gone?
Not
Karen
yet.
Reed has been
Mm.
acquitted in the murder of her boyfriend.
See, that's
John.
Well, now we know
Right.
money can get you out of anything.
This jury found that she is responsible, that she is guilty for one of the lesser included offenses, and that
She gone.
offense
Aw,
is
where'd
a
you
motor
go?
vehicle under the influence.
That's funny.
That's the old Irish exit.
Yep. I haven't heard their responses yet, so if we can listen, that'd be awesome.
Cool.
Let's listen in again.
Found not guilty will be sealed by the Commissioner of Probation by the court unless you notify the Commissioner of Probation in writing within 10 days that you do not want these records sealed. To request that these records not be sealed, you may use the Request Not to Seal form, which is posted on the trial court's website on mass.gov. I cannot accept the form here in court. You must submit it to the Commissioner of Probation at the address provided on the form. Please be aware that if the records regarding the charges
Y'all
that you
zoom
have
y'all's
found not
camera
guilty
in
are
on their
sealed,
faces.
you will be unable to access the sealed record of the not guilty dispositions or any other records regarding those charges. If you want copies of any documents regarding those charges before the records are sealed, you should request copies from the court within 10 days. Do you understand? Thank you.
All right, so we need a date for sentencing. Can we do it next week?
And we would be prepared to go forward today.
Okay. Okay.
One last sidebar.
All right, they just said they're looking to set a date for sentencing. Prosecution says they are prepared to move forward today. I think the most startling part after we heard the verdict was the volume of the cheers that you could hear right
You could hear it
inside.
very clearly.
There's
Very
that
clearly, you can
shit.
hear those cheers. And
That's
sentencing,
us,
as you
guys.
mentioned, JC, would be the next step. It probably will happen today. We know from our
All right.
Well.
So I don't think you don't want to hear the coverage, right? I turned off the volume.
Massachusetts
Which
is
one?
officially the biggest shithole in the country now.
Hey, thanks.
Like, what a joke.
Well, this is you actually got 12 jurors to vote not guilty on these issues. So I don't believe 12 jurors were contaminated. So I believe there was a flaw in some part of the prosecution's case.
Or maybe she can do
I
it.
disagree, particularly with the Discord at the end.
That's why they turned it, Clevin.
You know, like, look at this case compared to the last one. There was so many more things in the last case, and there was 9 people that were guilty. So there's no way in hell this jury wasn't tainted.
Yeah, that's what Turtle
Just
Boy
the
said they
idea of
would come
12
out.
jurors being tainted seems
Well, not all
unreasonable to
12.
me.
It's just one that
So,
convinced the rest, you know.
I don't think there are one brilliant free Karen Reed person and 11 morons. I don't think that's I don't
Look
agree with
who's using logic
I
and
think there were
evidence.
weaknesses in the prosecution's case that
There you go, Blevin.
couldn't be settled in the deliberation room.
Yeah, the weaknesses that they weren't
It's
true.
called no evidence.
Exactly, Patty.
I
24
don't
jurors.
think I'd be as disgusted if they won this case without harassing all those people.
Oh.
It was just one in court. It was just one in court on the merits of the argument. I'd be fine with it. But after watching the disgusting display the media's put on, and all these parasites have enjoyed from their monetary gain to their joy and jubilance over the suffering of others,
Oh.
that is what's making me want to puke.
Monetary gain. The
So
people who
someone's
got
saying she got
cash
1
and
year
envelopes.
probation. So did they already do the sentencing? Do we
Yep,
miss it?
1 year probation.
Yeah,
that's
what I assumed.
So so I mean, if she had any integrity, if any of these people did, if David United did come out on the courthouse stairs and say, the people that have been falsely accused,
Turtle Boy.
sorry we used you, but yes.
Yeah.
No, they're not going
You
to
were
do
innocent.
that.
You were
They're not-
innocent.
they're
No,
not
we
gonna
know
do
they
course
aren't
not.
going to do that.
Of course
Yeah,
not.
But I hear you, Kevin. I know.
It's
I
going to
hope
get
Peg
worse.
runs her over with a car right now. That would be the perfect ending.
No,
What did
no,
he
I
just
don't think
say?
that. I just think it's really. I mean, this
Wait,
was
yeah,
designed
rewind
to be
that.
for
Did he just say if they ran him over
fun
with a car
people.
right now, that would be the
Yeah,
perfect ending?
I think it was
Couldn't be
something like
settled
that.
in the deliberation room.
Holy crap.
And
or any other records regarding those charges. If you want copies.
that couldn't be settled in the deliberation room. And
I don't think I'd be as disgusted if they won this case without harassing all those people. Right.
Right,
It was just one in court. It was just one in court on the merits of the argument. I'd be fine with it. But after watching the disgusting display the media's put on and all these parasites have enjoyed from their monetary gain to their joy and jubilance over the suffering of others,
Oh.
that is what's making me want to puke right now.
So someone's saying she got 1 year probation. So did they already do the sentencing? Do we
Yep,
miss it?
1 year probation.
Yeah,
that's what I assume.
So so I mean, if she had any integrity, if any of these people did, if David Unetti, they'd come out on the courthouse stairs and say, the people that have been falsely accused, sorry we used you, but yes.
Yeah.
No, they're not
You
going to
were
do
in a-
that.
you were in
They're
a-
not-
well,
they're not
we
gonna
know
do
they
course
aren't
not.
going to do that.
Of course
Yeah,
not.
But I hear you, Kevin. I know.
It's going
I
to
hope
get
Peg
worse.
runs her over with the car right now. That would be
Hank
the
runs
perfect
her
ending.
over with a car right now.
No, I don't think that. I
Nice.
just think it's really, I mean, this
Classy.
was bought.
Display
I mean,
the media's
look
put
at
on and all
Kate's
these
picture right
parasites
now is
have
Silence of the
enjoyed
Lamb with
from their
Karen's face.
monetary gain to their joy and jubilance over the suffering of others.
Oh.
That is what's making me want to puke right now.
So someone's saying she got 1 year probation. So did they already do the sentencing? Do we
Yep,
miss it?
1 year probation.
Yeah,
that's what I assume.
So so I mean, if she had any integrity, if any of these people did, if David Unetti, they'd come out on the courthouse stairs and say, the people that have been falsely accused, sorry we used you, but yes.
Yeah.
No, they're not going
You
to
were
do
in a-
that.
you were in a-
They're
Well,
not
we
gonna
know
do
they
that.
aren't going to do that.
Of course
yeah,
not.
But I hear you, Kevin. I know.
It's going
I
to
hope
get
Peg
worse.
runs her over with the car right now. That would be the perfect ending.
That is what
No,
he just said. Oh my God.
Oh,
What
that's
an
cold.
idiot.
That is cold.
That, oh my, that, wow. And to the boomer or whatever the guy is at the bottom, nothing about jury or witness intimidation was allowed into this trial. Like they stopped all of that. The jurors heard the freaking evidence that he wasn't hit by a car. Y'all have to learn to accept that. Y'all have been fooled and y'all need to move on or either get on the right side of the law and fight for true justice for John O'Keefe at this point.
People are dumb. Look at Angel modding like a champ. Good job.
Sorry, I'm reading something. But yeah, let's get on this co-beggars.
Deadlines for experts shows our dedication to comply with court orders. It does not depict effective counsel ready to go to trial on this case. We would submit that it's the court's responsibility to assess this motion to continue with heightened due process that's required in death penalty cases. The death penalty case is different. That comes from Ford versus Wainwright, 477 U.S. 399 at 411. The court must be sensitive to safeguard every avenue of due process. The Idaho Supreme Court said the qualitative difference between death and other penalties calls for a greater degree of reliability when death is imposed, and that comes from State versus Creech, 105 Idaho 362 at 383. Looking at all of the constitutional rights Mr. Koberger has, effective assistance of counsel really becomes the crux of how.
I want to know that too. When can she go pick her car up? She should be able to go pick that thing up soon.
Well, she's been paying the note on it ever since, but they don't have to make any repairs to it that they caused during the investigation process.
Yeah, just like they don't when they search you on the side of the road.
Right. If they
Dump all
tear your
your
crap
shit
up,
out on the
then
side of the
you
road.
have to put it all back together. Yeah. But I mean, they've taken out her infotainment system, and I don't even know if it cranks at this point, but they'd have to give her the part, and then a mechanic would have to put them back together. But I know she's been paying the note on it to keep it.
How all of these other rights are covered for Mr. Koberger. And effective assistance of counsel applies both to the merits phase and the penalty phase of a death penalty case. The courts are guided and counsel is guided by the American Bar Association guidelines on capital cases. Wiggins versus Smith, 539 U.S. 510 at 524, said the ABA guidelines are guides to determine what is reasonable. And that's talking about reasonable performance by defense counsel in a capital case. The Ninth Circuit in Andrews versus Davis at 944 F3D 1092 at 1109 said relies on the ABA guidelines as the proper measure to test an attorney's investigation. In Idaho, our public defender statutes reference the ABA guidelines as applying to indigent defense. These apply to the full investigation of the merits phase and require us to raise all legal claims. They require us to perform a background on all witnesses that might be called, especially those being called by the state. That means that we have to review all discovery to be able to present a full defense for Mr. Koberger. We cannot present what we are not aware of. I would note for the court that discovery has been ongoing. I received discovery just this week. It is discovery that I have not reviewed yet. Considering what's required at a penalty phase in a capital case, we're required to perform in a way that the jury can carry out their function of individualized sentencing. That means that Mr. Koberger's background has to be known and investigated and ready to present to the jurors. Evidence of his character has to be known and ready to present to the jurors, and his circumstances have to be known and ready to present to the jurors. That's addressed in the Woodson case and in the Lockett case. The jury must have the opportunity to consider all evidence that may weigh against the death penalty, and that means anything from his life history. It is the duty of the defense to find and investigate all mitigating information. We do have several experts that would be ready for the mitigation portion of the case should the case reach that phase, and they rely on understanding family history and Mr. Koberger's own history. They can only understand what they've been presented, and the investigation to fully evaluate needs to be thorough. And that means that records have to be collected. That means that interviews, collateral interviews have to be done, and those have not all been completed. And it's not because of a lack of diligence in this case. Further, when things that are noted as red flags arise, those things must be investigated. Red flags aren't fanciful ideas of what else could we do in this case. They're real things that come up in the course of the investigation, and whether or not they're important to mitigation and presentation for a jury's consideration requires time to investigate and collect records. Documentation is very important. The court's aware that red flags have come up and they require further investigation. Those are issues that may mean a lot to the experts that would be ready to testify, but they can't be presented until there's a full investigation. They are things that might change the course of the evaluation or might require us to have an additional expert to help explain certain circumstances. And that's important for the individualized sentencing that's required by the Constitution. Your Honor, there have been numerous challenges with gathering records and interviewing collateral witnesses. I know the court is aware of some of those particular issues. I'm not going to highlight them now, but it's imperative that we be able to collect records and conduct interviews from other family members besides just Mr. Koberger and his parents. And it's also imperative that his history be complete with educational records, medical records, and those things are still being done to this day. The other reason that a continuance is appropriate in this case is based on the media coverage, the Dateline issue that has been talked about in this courtroom before, and what's yet to come. The Dateline episode wasn't just a one-time deal back in May. That continues to be talked about. Everything that happens in this case continues to be talked about, and this court has a duty, a responsibility to make sure that Mr. Koberger receives a fair trial. That comes from Shepard versus Maxwell, 384 U.S. 333. And a continuance may be the way that the court can best protect Mr. Koberger. That comes from Patton versus Young, 467 U.S. 1025. In addition to what is going on with what happened with the Dateline episode, that's not all. There's a book set to be released just a few weeks from now to be followed by a docuseries on Amazon Prime. There's a claim that there's inside sources that provide information in this case. At the very least, the moment we start attempting to select a jury in this case, those things are going to be on everybody's TV, everybody's social media feed, and some of the very witnesses that will be expected to testify will be taking part in the docuseries, at least, and maybe noted in the book. That is, in and of itself, an exceptional reason for us to have a continuance to let those things play out for a while. I would also note, Your Honor, that jury selection is going to be particularly challenged and will need a great deal of time based on what's happened in the media and continues to happen. Your Honor, our request is for a continuance in this matter to allow us to be effective and perform our constitutional duty for Mr. Koberger to protect his constitutional rights, to make sure that we have fully investigated all mitigating circumstances so the jury, if it comes to it, can perform their individualized sentencing, judgment, and function, and to allow some space between what's recently happened in the media. Thank you.
Yeah, Your Honor, of course. Thank you, Your Honor. I will, I think, address Ms. Taylor's argument sort of in the reverse order in which she raised the issues that she raised. I want to begin, though, by bringing us and the court back to what the standard is for this motion to continue, as opposed to what might happen after a conviction with respect to ineffective assistance to counsel. Right now, the standard is whether denying a continuance would violate the defendant's rights by causing unfair prejudice. And that is an objective standard that the court has, and the court has discretion on all motions to continue, including a motion to continue in a case such as this that involves a death penalty. What the defendant and the counsel are asking the court to do is delay this trial because of their subjective, prospective beliefs about how an ineffective assistance of counsel evaluation would happen by an appeals court if there was a conviction. What this court should do is use its discretion and look at the objective record. The record supports denying the motion based on what the defense has been doing, continues to do, and will continue to do through the mitigation phase until the penalty phase, including presenting mitigation evidence that the jury will ultimately decide about if there's a conviction. The lens that the court should look at is well stated, through which the court should look at this motion is well stated in some Idaho case law and others. If I can turn on the Elmo, do I need to hit this button, Your Honor? Clerk needs to switch it over.
Okay, thank you. So these are cases that we cited in our brief, and I wanted to start my discussion with them. I'll read the top case, which is an Idaho Supreme Court case, evaluating whether counsel was effective in a death penalty case. Counsel was not required to investigate defendant's entire life
in order to objectively and reasonably present mitigation evidence. And then I like the way that the Seventh Circuit sort of rephrased the same principle by saying, I won't read the entire quote, Your Honor, but a scorch the earth strategy is not required. We're in a standard of reasonableness. And the record that is before the court, and I'll acknowledge we have not seen what specifics, if any, the defense has put forward in this ex parte filing. It's kind of hard for you, I recognize. It does, but we have not seen specifics. I did not hear any specifics from counsel just now about these witnesses need to be contacted, these records need to be obtained. And then the court, I think, mentioned at prior hearing we had when this was motion to continue was first raised, that the court would be looking at what admissible evidence the defense needs to obtain and what strategies would actually be used to fruitfully obtain that evidence. And we don't have anything specific that we can respond to about that. So I'm at a bit of a disadvantage, Your Honor, but I think the record that we do have shows that the court can use its discretion to deny this motion to continue. What we did in our response brief, Your Honor, was to cite the fact that the defense has identified 55 defense witnesses for mitigation. And I think one was recently added, so we're up to 56, 132 exhibits to use at the mitigation phase. And with respect to the ABA standards, we're not saying the court should completely ignore them, but what we are saying is that the court should look at them for what they are, which is a retrospective tool for appellate courts to look at the performance of counsel after conviction, not some checklist that needs to be religiously adhered to in order to actually get to trial. Even if the court were to rely on them heavily, though, the charts that we put together show that for each of the ABA guidelines categories that the defense has raised, we have seen evidence in the record that shows that they had witnesses to talk about those issues and they have discovery on those issues themselves. Now, defense has called that superficial, but we would ask the court to look at the tables and look at the witnesses that we've been able to identify for each category and also the discovery in the record. So, Your Honor, again, we think that given the legal standards here on a motion to continue, given the court's discretion, given that we are in a world where the court needs to satisfy itself that defense has done a reasonable job to prepare for trial, there's no basis for a motion to continue. Now, let me turn to some of the specific arguments, and I can take this down, Your Honor, that Ms. Taylor raised. With respect to the media coverage, we acknowledge, as the court has, that will pose challenges for jury selection. The issue, though, is not whether there is a lot of publicity. We know there's going to be a lot of publicity regardless of when this trial happens. As Ms. Taylor said, people will continue to talk about this case. The issue is whether the court, using the procedures it has established or maybe even modifying them as the court wants to, can seat a panel of impartial jurors. The Supreme Court of Idaho has found that despite widespread publicity, even on the day of jury selection, that is possible. That is possible in this case, despite the challenges. The other thing I would mention with respect to the publicity is that it puts us at the whim of the media. Every time there's a breaking story, every time there's a new book or a new documentary, are we going to continue the trial indefinitely? And that seems to be the danger in what the defense is asking for. We call it a perpetual continuance, and we haven't seen a proposal about when this trial could take place. If there's a continuance, what seems to be the strategy here is just to delay. And that leads me to, I think, the other point that Ms. Taylor raised, which was to say that this shouldn't be a surprise. It is a surprise to us that the motion to continue was made so late in the game, after, by the way, the trial date was used to oppose an extension that we filed for with respect to our mental health expert. At that point, the defense said we can't possibly go down this road or give the government the state what it wants because of the trial date. Once that issue is resolved, then we get a motion to continue. So I think what we have seen from the defense is that they tried to use the mass amount of discovery to remove the death penalty from the table. When that failed, now we have a motion to continue. So I do think timing is relevant here. Again, and it's not just that the defense waited so long, it's that we now have a very substantial record on which the court can deny this motion based on everything that's been put in front of the state and the court. In terms of the mitigation investigation, Your Honor, we believed but did not have confirmation that the defense had a mitigation specialist until the reply brief on this motion alluded to an affidavit that mitigation specialist submitted. So I don't know what that says. I don't know what the mitigation specialist has said, but the fact that there is a mitigation specialist, apart from the 3 attorneys and 2 investigators that are part of the defense team, that person has one role, as I understand it, which is to prepare for the penalty phase if we get there. And that person, that specialist, has still time to continue doing whatever work they told the court they need to do. Your Honor, again, I would try to get back to the record and ask the court to look at the objective record when evaluating this motion. 55 mitigation witnesses, over 130 exhibits, a very robust team on the defense side, which includes their retained experts. Ms. Taylor, and in the briefing, really honed in on this idea of a social life history for the defendant. I don't know if the court has read the expert reports of the defendant's forensic psychiatrist and then the licensed psychologist. I won't discuss the details in open court, but our position is that both of those specialists, well-trained, very experienced specialists, conducted significant, fulsome life history investigations. They weren't just looking at bare records. They were talking to people from the defendant's past, from his present, his family, and developed parallel life histories. And in their reports, as I read them, no red flags that needed further investigation were noted. Nothing about those reports appeared to be incomplete. And the experts didn't say we are unable to reach the conclusions we need to reach for lack of investigation. So I think that is sort of proof in the pudding. We have life history for the defendant. The defense has amassed significant materials. And I thought we were going to be slowly talking about the mitigation case that still needs to be developed. that is not a basis for continuance. And to the extent there are ongoing discovery from the state that Ms. Taylor alluded to, I can represent that most of what was just turned over was our investigators speaking with witnesses that the defense has disclosed. So that's the nature of that discovery, is us responding to discovery from the defense. And that will continue, of course, to occur as we lead up to trial and witnesses make statements that we need to disclose to the defense. So with that, Your Honor, I would again rest on the case law holding that a scorched the earth investigation is not what's required. And on the record before the court should exercise its discretion to deny the motion. If the court has any questions, I'm happy to answer those. Otherwise, we would submit on the record before the court. Thank you. Thank you. Any reply?
Yes, thank you. I would start with noting that if the new discovery is the state's contact of witnesses we've listed, the state knows that there are mitigation witnesses that we've listed because we had to disclose them, but there are people that have refused to speak with us. That presents a challenge in the case. A lot of the witnesses that refuse to speak with us have to do with records, medical records of Brian Koberger, past treatment records of Brian Koberger. Those are important things that the gravity of what they have to say can't be known to our experts until we have the opportunity to fully understand those things. And we continue to work on access to witnesses and access to additional information. I want to touch on just a couple of points. One, when the court considers continuance and considers whether Brian Koberger's rights are violated, his right to a fair trial, his right to confront witnesses and evidence against him, his right to present a full defense, and his right to effective assistance of counsel are implicated and laid out in our motion to continue. The ABA guidelines require us to do a full investigation. It's not going scorched earth to understand Brian Koberger's full life history. These are things that are required. And we've done everything that we can. We have had a mitigation expert on the case. This is 2.5 years into a case, and the average for capital cases is 3.5 years.
In federal court.
In federal court.
Which moves at a snail's pace in its best day in regular cases.
I'm not a practitioner in federal court, so I don't have any basis to talk to the court about that. But what I can tell you is that a capital case where we have a client and we need to investigate both the merits phase and a penalty phase at the same time takes time. In any case, it takes time to do that. In this case, with a high profile nature and having people decline to talk to us presents a whole set of challenges that we have to find a way to work through. As the court knows, a lot of mitigation information is very sensitive information. It takes some time to be able to get people to talk about things. Realities exist too. Not all of the family members are in the same place. So there's travel that's required. All of those things take time to do in a case like this. 2.5 years is excessively fast to put all of that together. There was no delay in having a mitigation expert on board. There was no delay in getting investigators to work on the case. And as soon as issues became apparent, Mr. Koberger's team did not delay in getting experts to help us understand specific areas of the case. Looking over the entire record, the court can see that the defense team has been diligent about discovery, about motion practice, about litigating issues in the case. There just still is a lot left to do. There's still a lot left that is not known. And Mr. Koberger has a right to go to trial with prepared counsel that have conducted a full investigation in both phases of the case. When you have a certain amount of information and there's this other stuff that's out there, that's a red flag, that's real, that you need to investigate, your experts can only do what's here, what's been investigated, what's been produced for them to assess. This whole other area, that land between the red flags and the investigation, that's an unknown area. That's where there's ineffective assistance of counsel. That's where there's not a fair trial. That's where there's not an individualized sentencing proceeding. And it's that area that requires a continuance in this case.
All right, I'll take the matter under advisement and get an opinion out in short order. In the meantime, I fully encourage everyone to continue as if the trial is going to take place when it is scheduled for. Again, I reserve the right to write the decision that I come to, but as of now, I would tell you that it's likely you're going to trial on the date indicated. All right, is there any other matters that we need to take up in the public session before we break to go to the private session?
Nothing further in the public session, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I don't believe so.
All right, we'll take a 10-minute break while the bailiffs clear.
Yeah, they're going to be starting that trial on time. Ain't no doubt about it.
Good.
Yeah, they need to. It's been dragging on forever already.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you were saying. The phone was in my pocket.
Oh, nothing. The judge's comment right there at the end. It's like, you're likely going to... I'm not extending this shit. We're starting on time.
Well, what do y'all think about like what Janine posted, and then I heard some more news reports today about the DoorDash driver who said she parked next to him and saw him, but then also her question, like her accurateness of her accountability is in question because she didn't bring it up until she was pulled over recently for like a DUI or something. Do y'all know anything about that?
I heard stuff about it, but I didn't read too deep about it.
I mean, it's interesting if they can say she's another eyewitness saying she pulled up directly next to him and made eye contact with him. That makes one person on the outside of the house and one person on the inside of the house. But obviously, they're going to question her reliability and everything the same way we just saw everything play out in Karen's case.
Yep. So when it's supposed to start in August, right?
That's my understanding, but there's not a decision on this motion today yet. So it could be continued later, is what I understood.
It doesn't seem like he's leaning that way right now, though.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Yeah,
Not
I
based off of
feel
that
like,
argument. That's what he just said. Like, it's
yeah,
likely not going to happen.
yeah, I totally feel like it's gonna take place in August, and that was a really good argument by the defense. Like every time there's a new documentary or news report or something, are we going to continue it so the defense can combat the evidence that comes in through that report or documentary? That was a really good argument.
He's already done a big investigation on whoever leaked that information last month.
Yeah. I was trying to zoom in too during that hearing. Like I didn't see any of the family, but they weren't showing all the rows either. So there were a lot of people sitting by him, and I was looking for like the Idaho 4 family members, and I didn't see them. So I know
Yeah, they
for
got
that now.
they got some money raised for one of the mothers to go to trial, watch the trial every day.
The
And they
one
were,
who's like in like New Mexico, Arizona, somewhere up in that area.
yeah, I think so.
I think she was the furthest when I remember all this going down.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. Like, I think this is going to be another case that we've never experienced the exacts before because there's going to be a lot presented at trial that no one had a clue about. Mainly from the prosecution.
Yeah, it looks like JFK's got 15 of our peoples up in there watching the Proctor thing.
As long as it doesn't get taken down, I can go back and watch it later, but whatever y'all want to do. I'm having fun.
Yeah.
This is like the best day in like 3.5 years for me, and I love spending it with you guys.
Aw.
Mm.
We love spending it with you.
And I was so excited when I saw Danny starting to come into Discord. I'm like, yay, he got to take a break from work to enjoy the celebration.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it started raining real hard. Couldn't do nothing.
So you got to leave work early today, like when everything kind of happened?
Yeah, I was about halfway home whenever the verdict came out, so almost made it long enough. I mean, in time to go live and get the verdict, but didn't. Too far across town. We're gonna watch it again though.
I mean, you can't get tired of watching that verdict and that reaction. Like, it's never going to get old.
No.
Will the deliberating jurors remain standing? Defendant remains standing. All other parties may be seated.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that 12 deliberating jurors and 6 alternates are present.
Yes.
May I inquire?
Yes.
Mr. Foreman, members of the jury, have you agreed upon a verdict? Yeah. Thank you. May I see the papers? Mr. Foreman, have the verdict slips been placed in this envelope and have they been in your presence ever since?
I was expecting to see a facial reaction from Bev here, and I was kind of disappointed we didn't.
Mr. Foreman, on docket number 2282CR117001, murder in the second degree, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar guilty or not guilty? Not guilty. So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you? No. Do you agree? Yes. Do all of you agree? Yes. Thank you. 002, what say is the defendant at the bar not guilty or guilty? Not guilty.
Of.
Is not guilty or guilty about that charge or any lesser included charge? Thank you. Specifically, number 5, operating under the influence of liquor by operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or greater. Correct? Yes. So say you, Mr. Foreman? Yes. So say you all?
Yes.
003. What say is the defendant at the bar leaving the scene after accident resulting in death? Defendant not guilty or guilty? So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you all? Jurors, hearken your verdict as the court records that you upon your oath say the defendant on 001 is not guilty, on 002 is guilty of operating under the influence of liquor, and 003 not guilty. Thank you.
If y'all notice,
All right,
after this, when she
jurors,
goes to
everybody
her
please be
family,
seated.
she hugs her
Jurors,
dad
we
around his
thank you for
neck,
your
but her mom
service.
literally
We're going
buries
to
her
send
head
you
in
back to
Karen's chest.
services complete.
And
I'd
that
like
was
to
so
come back
sweet
and
to me.
talk to you a little bit afterwards. So thank you very much.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Like her mom would just collapse. Like Karen was even stronger than her mom at that moment, like embracing her. Like that was just so sweet.
Petty, you're beautiful.
Red
love
hair. Free Karen
Great
Reed
color.
red.
Great color. You're glowing.
That's the free Karen Reed red.
Here's some pink highlights just right around the face, though. At least for a little while.
You can always get those clip-ins.
I'll do it if you do, Patty. Oh wait, Petty's wanting me to listen to when the clerk of court Jim says something about hearken, which I'm sure he does, but it would make sense that he did, but I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
All rise. Jurors, follow me.
Is he already passing?
All right, jurors, everybody please be seated. Jurors, we thank you for your
See, the Keith
service.
family gets up and leaves right here when she tells everyone to be seated.
We're going to send you back to services complete. I'd like to come back and talk to you for a little bit afterwards. So thank you very much.
All rise. Jurors, follow me.
I feel like Karen and Eliza are like BFFs now. Like they talk so strongly about each other. But seeing
Alessi's like her
David's,
hype man.
yeah, but seeing David's reaction in court and his reaction on the steps, like
Karen Reed?
the most
Not yet.
emotional.
Hold on, everyone. Karen Reed. Ms. Reed, can I have your attention? As required by statute, I must inform you that the records regarding the charges that you have been found not guilty.
Yeah, Cheryl, I've been limited on my wrench distribution. I know it sucks for everybody. Sucks for me because it looked better with all blue names in the chat.
I'm
The blue
perfectly
rose.
fine with it. I never use my wrench.
Yeah, I
It
don't
was,
know
Yeah,
how.
yeah.
it was
But if
just a
you
way
need,
for everybody
you
to
need
see what it
mod,
was.
If it got
Cheryl
you in
would have been.
trouble before, we're definitely willing to sacrifice our wrenches to keep you going.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
100% don't need extra responsibility.
Yeah, everybody got to see what they do though, so it's not a mystery.
Yeah, that was fun.
Winches.
Oh, Petty's pissed. But I think Cheryl's a good mod, so if you do need one in the future, she
Yeah,
should
but
be.
12 people. I don't think we need one. We got three on 12. Pretty good.
Let's keep playing it though to where she go hugs her family. Like the way her mom sinks her head into Karen's chest to me was just spoke volumes. I mean, if you want to, like, I just thought that was a really important moment.
Guilty will be sealed by the Commissioner of Probation by the court unless you notify the Commissioner of Probation in writing within 10 days that you do not want these records sealed. To request that these records not be sealed, you may use the request not to seal.
No, it's not a YouTube issue. I don't know if it's a YouTube issue, but it could have been an issue with last time with mods.
We don't know what the issue is, so we don't know what to fix.
Yeah, so we have to fix everything. I know it sucks.
appeal form, which is posted on the trial court's website on mass.gov. I cannot accept the form here in court. You must submit it to the Commissioner of Probation at the address provided on the form. Please be aware that if the records regarding the charges which you have been found not guilty are sealed, you will be unable to access the sealed record of the not guilty dispositions or any other records regarding those charges. If you want copies of any documents regarding those charges before the records are sealed, you should request copies from the court in 10 days. Do you understand?
That was a
Thank you.
really cute moment with
All right,
Jackson
so
and
we need
Eliza.
a date for sentencing. Can we do it next week?
Let's do it now.
We would be prepared to go forward today.
Thanks, like I don't want to have to deal with this anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so when I leave today, I'm done.
I'm not talking to anyone. I'm not going back to my practice. Like I want to hibernate for a month.
I'm done. But I mean,
It's just so sweet when she goes to her dad. Like it's that upper shoulder hug, like on a counter confidence. But when she goes to her mom, like she just buries her head in Karen's chest, like he was basically on the verge of collapsing.
All right, so Ms. Giannetti, you ready to go forward today as well?
Yes, please.
Okay, Mr. Brennan, what's the Commonwealth's recommendation?
Your Honor, the Commonwealth moves for sentencing. We recommend probation, 1 year, 24D program.
So the standard that everybody else gets on their first time OUI?
Certainly.
Okay.
We ask that she be treated no differently, no better.
So I'm happy to do it. All right, thank you all.
1 year probation, 1 year probation on docket number 002, the lesser included offense of operating under the influence. 1 year probation. Thank you. The 24D program is. Thank you.
All right.
Goodbye. The last time we hear goodbye. I was waiting to hear you're all set, Miss Reed.
well, those
Like
lawyers just
the
saying
comforting arms of your
hard
dad, but then the reassuring arms of your daughter is what I saw here. Look, watch your mom. She just buries herself in her.
Oh, look at the Alessi and Bill moment. I love that.
Every hug with Bill by the legal team was just precious.
Alessi's the best. He's such a nice guy.
And Alan wiping his face. And the guy, like, I forget his name, the one she's hugging or just hugged, the one who did the computer, like he just graduated and he's emotionally broke down right now.
Yeah, Wolk.
Yeah.
And Turtle Boy, after he went to the car with the I think it's 3 or 4 girls that were interning, and he's like, they're the unsung heroes. They did so much work here. Like, what a great experience they had. But he said they did a lot.
And I hope they get a chance to voice that and for everyone to realize how much it takes to overcome an unjust justice system. And these kids are going to take that with them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I don't know who the guy is hugging Alan now, though, but everyone was very emotional hugging him. Like
He's
the
the
one
driver. He's their driver.
Oh, he didn't look like the driver to me in the videos I've seen. Who's the bald guy hugging Karen now?
I don't know who he is.
Because he was very animated out on the steps, too.
Why are they in such a damn hurry to get her out of there? What, they got another case to start? Jesus.
Well, she's got to go handle the paperwork from her OUI
Those
conviction. And
fucking cops don't have shit to do.
I know, it's silly. It really
Goodbye
is.
forever, fan.
She posted
Bye.
way more bond than necessary on the OUI.
But I mean,
So
she
she
still has
takes
to
5
go and get the
minutes.
paperwork on that
Right.
24 whatever class and sign her paperwork.
Oh.
You know, like that's what took so long
And
for her
then
to come
issue
out.
her a refund on her bond and all the shit she's paid. And get her
Cheryl, you might be right.
car
I think he looks like the driver though. But the driver's got to be outside with the car, so that can't be the driver.
That's what I was thinking too. Like the driver has really dark hair. Like he looks like a very miniature. Like everybody in this case is so small in stature to me. Like the driver, the attorneys, like everyone's so short. The family, like and doing the slow mo on the fan. That was
yeah, Pinky. Bye, fan. Just do a farewell sesh with the fam.
So that's Nathan's friend. Maybe Karen should just date him. He's really cute.
It seems like everybody wants Karen to date Brian LTL. I'm like, just stop it. Gee, she doesn't need a man. Just let her go
Right?
and live her life.
Jesus. Are they the same age?
I think in close proximity. I don't know. It's just silly. They're like, y'all make a cute couple. I'm like, would you stop? She hasn't even grieved her last boyfriend yet. And she's literally been fighting for her life. Just let her live for a little while.
I agree with you, Cheryl.
Give some of that vanilla slice.
Yeah, I don't think she should end up with Brian by any means either. They were just saying they made a cute couple in their pictures.
All right.
I wonder what Robin G's doing. I wonder where they are celebrating.
You're probably at one of them dive bar places.
I was gonna say boots on the ground may be celebrating tonight, but I assure you, Karen, her family, and her defense team, it's a very private wind down celebration wherever they are.
Very
It may be a
expensive
while before
dinner.
we hear from them.
It's a very
But I
expensive
expect to hear from
15 top
jury, and I
dinner going
expect
on
to
right
hear
now.
from the attorneys very soon.
Jesus. Very expensive dinner. Big.
Eddie, no, shut up. A horrible outcome.
Yeah. Listen to Dana one more time, and then I guess we'll get off here. I don't know how long that interview is. Everybody, there's a bunch of people live.
What interview?
Nobody's rushing out on you unless you're ready to
Well, I
go.
know, but nobody's rushing in on us either. There's 10 of us. Maybe
Well,
missing something good
we're
somewhere
your
else.
faithful rats then.
Yeah. Some of the faithful rats are not here. I see them in other places, so must be fun.
No, there's a lot going on
Thank you.
tonight.
And let's bring
Oh, no,
Peter
I want to
Elliott
go
back
do
in if
some
we
of
can
it.
real quickly. I wanted to ask you, Peter, in terms of, what went on in the policing end of things. As she said, this is, we're not saying all policemen and, female cops that they are wrong or anything like that. They're bad. They don't do the right thing. That's not true. We know that, obviously. But let's talk about that and what generosity John O'Keefe did, as was well documented throughout this whole case. We don't want to put the wrong information out there. So again, the O'Keefe children of his sister, not his brother. Okay, want to go outside now. Ryan Breslin, he's been there since probably about 5 a.m. if he pulled the same type of day that he did yesterday. He was in there ready to go. But today, the payoff. He got the verdict everyone was looking for. And you have a special guest. Tell us more.
Special.
Everyone was looking for.
Yeah, Mark, I wanted to bring in Dina Warshaw because she has been down here every single day throughout this whole movement. One of the main organizers of the Free Karen Read movement had been in touch with Karen Read, making sure that the people that came down here were really in line with the buffer zone, that they were doing the right things that were in that court order. And I want to just hear the reaction from you when we were just talking off camera, tears in your eyes, talking about you have no PTO left.
No.
But this has been so important to you, and I want people at home to know why.
Well, a Boston police officer, John O'Keefe, was found dead on another police officer's lawn, and the investigation was shoddy from the beginning. That's important. I still believe in police. Not every police officer is bad. And also a woman was being framed for a murder that she did not commit. And we just saw that the truth came out today in court, not guilty. It's important.
And you had a good relationship with the officers that were down here. We had state police troopers that were down here every single day, as well as other members of Dedham Police and some nearby towns. You said you went up and shook every single one of their hands after that verdict came down.
After the verdict came down, I went up and shook each of their hands, told them to stay safe, because a lot of them that were down here were everyday people. They're good cops. They go home to their families every night. Not every police officer is bad. People have portrayed like this movement was anti-police, and it's not that at all. Not that at all. So it was important to do that, to show that we still believe in the police officers.
What do you think Karen Read thought when she walked outside today?
Oh, I can't even imagine what she thought. I mean, her part of her truths came out, you know, that she's not guilty. And this has been a long struggle for her, not only her whole entire family. I mean, they can take a sigh of relief right now. And I'm sure more is, after they take a little breather, I'm sure something's going to come out of this as far as policy changes, family, you know, investigating family and stuff like that. Like, I think there's going to be something maybe called the READ Act. They're very extremely smart people, both Bill and Karen, and I think they're going to make a change.
Thank you so much for chatting with us, Dina. I really appreciate it. And just to give you more context, Dina was one of the people that made sure that Karen Reed safely got into her SUV every day. She came down here and said, when people would cheer, she said, no, you need to obey by the buffer zone and not yell. You need to be respectful of the court system, the way that court system was, and wait, when you hear that verdict, wait to cheer until every single verdict had been read.
Right.
So
That's what their team wanted. And it's out of respect to Boston police officer John O'Keefe's family, too, because that's not forgotten. That's still a family that lost somebody. And we have to be respectful to that, too.
Thank you, Dina. I'll toss it back to you, Mark and Rachel.
All right,
Yay, Dina.
She did such a freaking great job. And while she's talking about that, like, I can't go back, but I couldn't help but go back and listen to what Boundless Millennial said about, do none of these people have jobs? Literally, you have him, Yellow Cottage Chills, Kate Peter, and the Boomer person who you know are not carrying their own weight by their online presence. And they're going to talk about other people not having jobs when she used all of her PTO to be down there for something she believes in. Like, how dare you? That's just.
Also, Cheryl deserves some recognition. She made signs that explain the rules and put them on the trash barrels so that people knew to be quiet and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great effort by everyone, from the communicating to the audience or the crowds to the trash pickup to the being respectful to the police and keeping that, everything they did was just so commendable.
Yeah, it was cool.
Damn right.
There's a lot of time spent. A lot of spent time. Well, we
But I
know we
think
have
instead of
about 2,500 hours invested into it, just hanging out together.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
instead of going and watching Proctor, though, I'm going to go back and watch Yellow Cottage Tales stream today because it just seems way more entertaining. Like, I want to listen to everything they said, and then I'll just watch Proctor when I get a chance.
Yeah, my sister texted and said Proctor's boring. It's barely any of him.
So no big revelation. Like, I was going to bet money that he was going to say, I was so upset with Karen Reed because I saw text messages between her and her attorney where she admitted to running into John.
She said, thumbs down, not much from Proctor at all. It's mostly shit from the last 2020.
Well, good, because he doesn't deserve any grace.
Yes, Cheryl.
To make that comment about the people have only heard one half of the story, like, that was the most ridiculous thing he could have said. You've literally been on the stand yourself. There's been 2 trials. There's been smear campaigns. There's been hostage videos. Like, everyone has had their time and chance and opportunity to say what they wanted to say about the evidence in this case. And it was just flawed because of you. On it.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, like Carol's saying plants on the jury. That's what they're saying now. I mean, even Yellow Cottage Shells, like, Kevin couldn't even say there were plants on the jury. Like, it's that freaking obvious even to him at this point.
Right.
Yep. So I guess we'll just do a short stream today.
Yeah, see how that works.
I don't know
What are your plans for the future, Danny?
I don't know. What are your plans for the future?
To follow my leader wherever he may go.
We're just going
What are we gonna do now? No, there's gonna be a lot more stuff going on. Like from this case, we got Turtle Boy stuff, and then but there's gonna be like a lot coming out. I think right now.
I mean, Danny, is your plan to like do true crime stuff? Because I know Toy has an interest in it. So is that kind of like where you want to go?
Yeah, we're just gonna keep watching trial stuff.
Well, cool. Because I think the majority of your audience, that's how they got into Karen's case to begin with. So I
Yeah,
think
so
we'll
we
be
better
there
get
with
some
you.
more subscribers out of these chats before these chats aren't what they are right now.
Yeah, we gotta
So
start
we have
scalping.
Yeah, a lot
permission
harder.
to advertise Rat House Media, Danny Thomas, come subscribe. The journey's
Don't put
just
my name
beginning.
on it. Don't put my name
Okay,
on it.
just Rat House. Well, if we just say Rat House Media, like most people know you as Danny, and that's the reason they would come, though.
Well, I feel like the term of chat rats has really gotten around, so I think that will draw
Plus, with
people.
all of our rat profile pictures saying it, so. I
Yeah.
did see some people in the chats today asking how everyone was getting these rat profile pics. So I don't know if Toy got to see that, but it's definitely being recognized.
Awesome. I love that. Thank
Sherry
you,
Berry.
Sherry.
I don't know if Sherry Berry's in the Discord or not.
Yeah, get her in there.
Drop the Discord link. I got 12 pages of my own.
I don't know how to do
I
that.
can never find the
I don't
damn
have I'm
get
not a
into
mod.
the
Can't be.
Discord. Where is the Discord link? It's
I
my
don't even know.
damn Discord, and I can't even find the link.
That's a Dean and Cherry thing. I've never been asked to do it, but I would think if you go to yours and go up to the top where it talks about home and members and all that, that there would be a link up there you could share.
She doesn't Discord, but make sure you come to all of our lives.
Yeah.
Keep
But
those notifications on.
Yep.
That's where
Set
the
'em
rap
to
profile
all.
pics come from, the Discord. But I'll figure it out. It's gonna be right in front of my
Cherry,
face.
technology hating you is no excuse. Like, this is my first Discord. There's a lot of people in here who had to learn it, and it's not that bad. Like, it's worth doing it.
We're beginner friendly.
Right.
It's easy. It's just another app. That's all it is. But it's kind of like the YouTube back page.
Right.
Like
Like
where
where
we
you can
are.
share stuff and like
That's
keep
where we
messaging.
find out where everybody's at.
Oh, what did y'all think about that news article that came out that the DNA for Sandra Birchmore's baby didn't match Farwell? Because I'd always heard that the baby's DNA wasn't like tested and kept.
Yeah, I need to look into that more. Because I don't know. Like it just seems weird that it would come out
Yeah.
now.
I mean, I saw that post, but I specifically remember when everything was going down with her, like that they didn't save the fetus and do any DNA testing.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's weird.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully that one will crank up. We'll have plenty of stuff, and then this will linger. It'll linger.
yeah.
I think TV is going to keep us busy for a while, and even though Farwell's a federal case, surely eventually they will charge him at the state level to where we can actually have some courtroom footage from all of that. But
Yeah, and there's gonna be like the civil trial and all the other shit they try to do to her.
yeah, and then Toy is knowledgeable of other cases going on, and same way she got Danny into Karen Reed, she'll get Danny into those, and we'll be right there.
Oh yeah. It
Toy
ain't
doing
that
the
hard.
Lord.
We just can't miss anymore. Eventually it'll start rolling, and we can back up and watch a couple of things, and there'll be enough coworker stuff where everybody can catch up. Because once
Angel
testimony
posted
starts,
the
that's
link.
really what's going to
Can
matter.
Someone
Angel
needs to make
posted
a
the
framed
link. If someone
co-burger.
can, if someone can
Yeah.
pin the link that Angel posted to where people can join Discord, it looks like she found the link.
Not in there.
And Petty, I have no idea why the brother hasn't been arrested yet. Like, I mean, the FBI has such a high conviction rate that they want foolproof evidence, and him on video and all the text messages basically give him away. So
Oh,
I don't know.
Cheryl, interesting. That came from
I
the
don't know if they're
family.
still working on the brother or if the state's going to get involved or not. I mean, how bad would that be if the family's the one saying that the baby's DNA didn't match Matthew's and then he killed her because of the baby?
Well, I mean, I feel like if it's somebody else's, then he has something to do with that too.
I mean, we know he did it, but what if he did it because he was trying to hide the baby and then it wasn't even his? What kind of like horrible karma would that be for him?
Right?
We're gonna find out.
Stay
King
tuned.
TB can't say anything about Kerry Roberts' text messages until his cases are finished because those are still under a order or whatever that he can't release them. So it's going to be a while before we find out what Kerry was saying to the DA's office.
Lame.
Yeah. Pretty lame. Just like
Do y'all
this
think-
stream was.
No, it wasn't. It was pretty awesome.
No, that was good. That's been a good one. But
Do y'all think today's decision will have any relevance to the FBI's investigation? Or is it pretty much nothing new came out of it? So until someone cracks, nothing's going to happen with the FBI.
What, with Karen Reed?
Yeah.
yeah, I think they're done
I
with all
don't think
that.
they dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's the administration change. Like the new administration came in, all of the people that were investigating were gone.
Yeah, I can see that. And what most people don't understand is just because no indictments were handed out doesn't mean that they didn't find evidence.
Right.
But they have such a high conviction rate that they won't bring that evidence unless they are 100% certain. So that's why I feel like unless someone cracks and speaks or they're able to get some kind of like subpoena on some type of technology to break this open, that John's just not going to get justice, which is horribly sad. But you never know. You never know what Karen and her defense team might do after this. They might
Just when you
start
think,
subpoenaing stuff themselves, you know?
yeah, just when you think this case can't get any crazier, it does. So
Yeah, that it does. That it
There,
does.
there's a good chance that she might become such an advocate for him that the truth comes out, which would just be chef's
She
kiss.
can openly be an advocate for him now, for sure.
All right, but now that she's able to do like, FOIA requests, then her defense team can focus on something other than her freedom. They might actually go after the McAlberts, and that would just be just so validating to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that would be fun to watch.
I'll allow it.
Anyways, let's go find something else to do.
Okay.
Well,
What
y'all
time is
said-
it? Oh, wait.
Y'all said TB was not going live tonight, so is everybody
No.
going to JFK or what?
Yeah, I'll go to JFK.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Broncos
rewind
live,
it though if he's showing
JFK,
the Proctor stuff. I want to watch it from the beginning.
Oh, he's playing
LTA.
that. Yeah, I'll probably go to Runkle. I love Runkle. He's so funny.
Yeah, Broncos got like 5,000 people.
Yeah, he's
I've
so
watched
fun.
The
Runkle a lot
JFK's got
today.
1,000 people. That's more than they've had lately. A lot more than they've had.
Yeah.
They've been at 200 or 300.
I
I
watched
don't know how
Runkle on
I
Defense
don't know how he hadn't got
Diaries.
kicked off yet. And I realize he's just chopping it up and playing it in little sections and all, but still, can't believe he hadn't got kicked off yet.
Yeah, right? He's figured it out.
I mean, he's had like 500 copyright violations, and we get kicked off for a few people.
Yeah, seriously.
reporting us for spam.
Insane. Why'd it happen to you and not all these other people? It's not.
Well, Dean explained it's because him being a smaller channel without as much revenue to YouTube, that they're stricter on the smaller channels than the.
Yeah, but JFK's only got freaking 10,000 subs or 12,000.
But if
I
it's
would
the
be upset
copyright
if I
stuff,
had
he doesn't care
12,000.
about it.
If I had 12,000 subscribers, like I've seen the last few days, some 50,000 subscriber creators only have 100 people in their chat.
Yeah, that's insane.
I'd be like, damn.
That
They
makes you
actually
think that they're
upset.
pulling the Kate Peters method and have like a whole bunch of bots in there.
They didn't do it like we're doing it because most of the people who subscribe come from the chat.
Yeah.
They gotta be doing it differently or something. I don't know.
Paying for those subscriptions.
Once we hit the watch hours, I'll do whatever I have to do to get the subscribers. The watch hours are hard. They were like getting a lot easier when you had 250 people because we were getting 700 views a video.
Yeah.
And that was like 70 watch hours a video.
Well, you've got your faithful cult following, Danny, so we'll be here
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
turn them
I'll make
turn
the
them
grape
around.
Kool-Aid even stronger.
We got to up our game a little bit.
Well, what do you suggest? I'll do.
Puff puff pass. True crime chat rats. Let's go. Puff puff pass. True crime chat rats. All across the world we coming through like that. Taking all the facts, put them in a trap. Cause we coming through like that. When you see the scene, I'm a rat. I be rolling with my rat pack. With my rats chatting about the crimes, the players and the evidence. Where it all went bad. Taking all the facts, and we bring them to the chat rats. True crime social where we be every night, doing everything we do for the truth. With my rats chatting about the crimes, the players and the evidence. Like it all went bad. Taking all the facts, and we bring them to the chat rats. All my people on the internet, all my people from around the world, gonna take you to the place we know best. Cause we're coming through like that. Puff, puff, pass, true crime chat rats. All across the world we coming through like that. Taking all the facts, put them in a trap. Cause we coming through like that. When you see the scene, I'm a rat. I be rolling with my rap pack. With my rats chatting about the crimes, the players and the evidence. Where it all went bad. Taking all the facts, and we bring them to the chat rats. Puff, puff, pass, true crime chat rats. All across the world we coming through